Welcome to the LXC.
Lights flashing bright, players take the stage. Iron, silver, gold, ready to engage. Serpentine moves, victory so near. Buttons smashing loud, feel the rising cheer. Tonight, everyone's fight. Climb up in the height, shine on in the light. Game's on fire now, tension in the air. Every player counts, showing we care. Strategy in play, eyes on the prize. From the bottom up, reach for the skies. All roads lead tonight, everyone's fight. Climb up in the height, shine on in the light. Game's on fire now, tension in the air. Every player counts, show 'em we care.
I don't know that they want the
Slowly
fight.
bleeding out. Oh,
Okay, Meganar comes in, only finds Tark. Maybe that's enough. Tark ult will help his entire team, though. Kidika's hitting for free, and Mimu finds Jinx, who has no flash. Meanwhile, on the backside, Yon and Varus are just cleaning up everything. You said it was about kill the Jinx. Jinx did not matter at all in that fight, and that means TD Harmony with their sub-jungle will take angle yet. Now he is though. Kaz has a hook angle too, so Atomic has to walk away. But you don't want to engage on the row. Starner is here, gets charmed. Another teleport coming in. Dragon just isn't tanky enough yet though. BB isn't either. He will go down. Ari still has so many options. Picks up the charm. Kidikis goes down without that many autos. Play damage is real though. Get away from our initiary. Hello everyone, welcome to Arbiter. We're in playoffs already. It seems like it just started, but because there's only 5 teams, we are here. And right now, we've only got 2 teams to show you because there's only 2 teams playing today. They're basically playing to get in to the actual bracket. I'm here with Scarlett, and I'm here with Soulkeeper today for casting.
How's it going, Scarlett?
Good, because we're going to be watching Tactical Freeze versus JR Black Pearl, and I really enjoy watching these 2 teams. Now, because it's basically a qualification, it's only best of 3, so we will not be having best of 5 right now.
Not yet.
But
Next week.
yes, from next week on, we will be seeing best of 5. The winner will be involved in that. In fact, I think we're streaming the winner of this versus TD Harmony, unless that changes. I know that can be contingent on basically what happens. And then the loser will be put straight into loser's bracket, waiting until week 3, whenever that starts.
That is correct.
So, we essentially, right now, one of these teams basically gets to slot into the top 4, and the other one has to wait till their real loser's bracket run starts.
Correct, in week 3.
It would be really nice, I think. I mean, to be clear, if you win this week and then lose next week, you're basically in the same spot. You just kind of have to. Let me just double check. Game 2, lose it. I'm just reading the thing. Oh, never mind. You're in a better spot. Never mind. So if you win this week and lose next week, you're still in losers finals. So it's really good to win this week, basically.
Yes, you want to get the W tonight for sure. But teams are ready. Are you ready to get into it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. And we saw from the intro there, I'm pretty sure we're not going to see Trainer Gaines Jin, as that was kind of massive for OSG Tactical Freeze.
Well, there's something about that that you might notice on this draft wall screen. I don't know if it shows up on stream, but unfortunately, because I believe we have either ESUB or some other reason, JRBP only has one ban. So if they don't want to see Jin, that's their one ban. And that's kind of tough on this patch. Now, OSGTF does have to choose 2 bans before they even, or I guess all 3 bans before they even see what JRBP decides to take off. It's a little strange, but we'll get through it.
Seraphine.
Now, this is only for game 1 as well.
Hard focus against Sapphire Gem here. Seraphine, again banned. That's been banned permanently. All of Arbiter against Sapphire.
Oh my gosh, the enchanters are gone. Now we're gonna see the Hui ban, and that means Jen is available for trainer. And if I look at the handy notes that Vish put for us.
Yeah, massive games. Hui, pretty constant ban when we do see the Jin come out.
Yeah,
love to see that pick.
Now Galio's the response. It's kind of interesting. Diana as well. Getting kind of tanky against Jin is really nice. And Diana can be pretty tanky. Galio obviously very tanky in the mid lane. Now you do want to bring damage somewhere. But one answer to Jin is just try to get to 20 minutes with some ruby crystals in your build, and then he kind of just sits there.
Yeah, Diana's a nice comfort pick here for Samurai. Most played champion so far here in Arbiter. And that is a nasty combo coming out of the bot lane here. Jin Zyra.
Oh, do you think it's Zyra support? Because I know I've been seeing that constantly in the jungle, but obviously...
I hope so. I hate that jungle has stolen my favorite support right now.
Doesn't the jungle always do that? Now I'm looking at this dude I know. They have not played Zyra in LXC yet, from what I can tell.
So my hopes are dashed that will be a Zyra jungle.
Most likely, especially with the Yon mid, Zyra jungle is usually played because it's the best AP jungler right now. And that has the benefit of letting you pick an AD mid. Speaking of AD mids, because we picked an AP jungle, oh no, sorry. There's a gallery showing on my screen. That's probably Corky bot lane. But you never know. There's some flexes here, technically, for sure.
Corky top? Never know.
I was thinking more Galio top, but you know what? Let's go with yours.
Mine's a little more spicy. It's a good way to enter game 1 here. This is where you want the crazy picks.
For sure. Especially whenever you're down bans, you've kind of got to come up with something. And you also don't want to show too much, because your strategy, even if you have to be on red side again because you won, your strategy is going to radically change because you get to ban that gen away. So, you know, going with crazy stuff might work out. I don't know. I haven't really thought about what you're supposed to do whenever you're red side with one ban, other than hope they don't abuse you too much with their picks. But right now we're seeing some mages taken out. Makes sense. The Rumble ban, because again, it's probably Corky bot lane, Galio mid, so take away some top laners rather than the port roll. And the Ornn taken away, which is interesting because that means that they might be looking to blind pick something for JR, or they're just not comfortable counter picking it.
That will make it very interesting, but I don't think you want that much scaling on that comp if you let that Ornn through here. That becomes a very scary late game team comp.
Alright, Renekton gone as well. The top lane is now the focus. Neither of these teams really care about the supports as much for bandings. I mean, they did it first round, don't get me wrong, but now Sapphire has been neutralized. She's allowed to have what she wants now.
Yeah, poor Sapphire. Not going to see that Seraphine or that Lulu. All of Arbiter. Just a heavy focus. And they are going to give her counter.
Yeah, it's a spicy one too. Gangplank in this team comp. I said you needed some damage. That is some damage. Leona is going to be the pick with Jen. I do like what the CC combination this brings, but with the blind pick nature of that, with a Corky available as well, it's kind of interesting. Because I'm not sure what goes well against Leona, but also works well with Corky. Corky's kind of an interesting one because he hasn't been in lane for that long, right? He's been mostly mid lane, and now suddenly he's back in the bot lane. I feel like one thing he doesn't want to see is a Leona Jhin, though.
Yeah, fair. Well, he does have his Valkyrie out, but I'm wondering if that Galio is also a flex we haven't noticed. Can be run support.
Potentially. I don't know if Sapphire's played it before, but I can check my handy stats compiled by Vish again that I'm going to keep shouting out because it's really handy. And I have not seen a Galio. We have not seen a Galio in LXC. However, it doesn't participate her not taking it. Swain, though, while I was looking away, is the mid lane pick. And that feels really good whenever the enemy team's trying to play Galio Diana. And it looks like you were unfortunately not going to see that support Galio because I don't think it's Rel top lane. But Rel feels really good here. You already were planning on going in. It's kind of tough into the Swain, yes. Speaking of which, I didn't notice, but Swain and Yone, which one of those is going top lane?
I would assume that's going to be top lane Swain. That's most common where he's at right now.
Well,
Could be wrong,
my
but
handy stats.
well, actually, Matrix is the Yone abuser, so that could actually be Yone top.
Yeah,
That would be interesting.
You see, yeah, 2 Yone games, 0 Swain games so far. Now, of course, this is again a very quick into playoffs because there's only 5 teams, so we've only seen from each team, I believe, 4 games. Is that right? 2, 4, 5, or 4 matches? 2, 4.
4 matches, yes.
5, 6, 7. Yeah. So, obviously, they're not gonna have their whole champion pool in there unless there's some kind of one trick. So we could see the Yone out of Billy Butthole. But we'll see if
Such an amazing name.
Always. Yeah, I was like figuring out if there's a way I could say that respectfully, but you know what? It's just gonna be Butthole.
We just do Billy.
Yeah, that's fair. That's probably the best place to take that. My mistake. We could go Billy Butt. You know, like, but what? But
It's alright. It's playoffs. We're allowed to get a little spicy for playoffs.
exactly, and so are the players' names. Now, let me see if I can check out exactly why they lost the ban. I believe it's because they have an ESA, but I didn't catch the players exactly.
It should just be for roster change. Not
Yeah.
roster change, lineup posting. Because they have it back for game 2 and 3 if necessary.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
that's only here for game 1.
Okay, and I see some really funny bands coming out. I don't know if that messes up your statistics. It probably shouldn't.
We remove it out after.
Gotcha. Okay, so Yumi and Singed have been banned on the client, but you guys don't have to know that. It's obviously just a placeholder so they don't have to wait 60 seconds.
So
And it is Matrix playing Yone top.
So, how familiar are we with Yone in the Gangplank matchup?
I may have seen it once, years ago. I doubt it. I definitely haven't seen it at this level. But I imagine the players aren't familiar with it either, right? Like, you play scrims, I don't think you're gonna scrim other Arbiter teams to be like, okay, I want to practice the Yone versus Gangplank matchup, so I need to find a Gangplank main.
That is a
doesn't
very
happen.
good question. Huh.
I don't
Yeah.
think the players know about it either. Now, I think Yone probably wins that, but I both don't know much about top lane and don't know much about Gangplank, so I'm kind of relying on my Yone mid experience.
Well, I can say early, Yone does win it. Late game, Gangplank one-shots Yone. It does become
Sure,
a
but
problem
the
off
thing
the
about-
barrels.
But the thing about Yone top is that it's always one of those laners that you think is strong because you play against it mid and you're like, these broken Yone players or whatever, but like, Yone really is kind of a weak laner. And into something like Gangplank, I think he might just get enough to be able to carry the game from there, especially whenever you're already lacking damage because you picked Jhin, but you have Yone, Zyra, Swain from the top side. It does feel like Tactical Freeze have kind of picked up a comp that could work with this Jhin. And I guess they have experience because trainer playing Jhin is something that's happened many times.
Yeah, like, I don't think much is going to be happening mid. Swain and the Galio, like, I'm not sure how those two kill each other. That seems
No, they
almost
don't.
like the
That's
normal,
cool part.
the top lane matchup where they just kind of bash on each other for a little bit and then everybody walks away. Even with the
You're not gonna
junglers
see
there,
the junglers. Yeah, no, the junglers are not going mid lane.
the junglers
laners
will
might go
die
jungle, but-
getting involved in that mid lane. The mid laners won't. The jungles will. So I think we see the jungles like top or bot. Bot's
Yeah,
very
I mean,
explosive.
Obviously, what might happen is that there's a crab fight that mid goes to, or there's early grubs and dragon where Galio ults in. So I think mids will eventually fight, but it will not be in mid lane, essentially.
Exactly.
Either way, we're gonna see a very unexciting mid lane and very exciting side lanes after a quick break, and then we're into game 1 of playoffs for Arbiter.
Mirrors on the wall, staring back at me. Stranger in the hall, frozen by the scene. Portraits seem to fade. He lost his centerpiece. Can't recall his face. I hope he'll rest in peace. Haunted by my mind, victim or the prey. Everything is fine. Take me to my grave. Bury me alive, keeping me astray. Hard to say goodbye to who I am today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Rift for Tactical Freeze versus Jolly Rogers Black Pearl. And we've got a really nice one to see here. I mean, I at least like the team comps. I feel like team fights are going to be pretty exciting, even if mid lane will not be. Not to rag on the mid laners too much. Sometimes your team asks you to play Galio, and you do it, you know, and that's just how it is.
Hey, sometimes you get stuck on tank duty, and it's a good comp to play the Galio in. I do like it does kind of nullify the Swain in team fights, the Zyra. The Wombo combo's pretty big coming out here from OSG. Yeah,
You know,
some very nice AEs.
maybe Chukles and Matrix like had a deal behind the scenes, or like we're gonna get our mid laners to play tanks, and then we'll play Gangplank Good to Go. We're gonna have the fun this time.
We are the
'Cause
carriers
that
this
matchup-
match.
Exactly, that matchup looks a lot of fun.
One of us is taking this. We'll have to see if Trainer can continue that Jhin dominance that we saw there from the intro video and his last week performance.
Yeah, now junglers are starting topside, so I'm kind of interested because, yeah, Jen is probably the focal point of the Rift. I just really think top lane is also very interesting, but I think junglers definitely want to be bot lane before too long, so that makes sense. Just, that means Gangplank and Yone get some time to themselves, in a way the top laners usually kind of ignore or take for granted, but now it gets to be very special indeed.
Yeah, it will be a little interesting. Ganking a Gangplank is always fun because of the CC and the orange. So we'll have to see how those cooldowns are managed and if they try and go for Gangplank early. But I think bot's probably the better focus for these teams.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much CC coming out here from both sides.
Oh, Rel got level 2 first. Jhin needs to hit that minion to hit level 2, but they're just not able to do it. They now hit level 2. Walsey overstays a little bit. And that means Leona... Oh, this dude I know, unfortunately not able to connect the E. That would have been a massive re-engage. However, it just ends up with the health bars in total being about even. Just one of them is an 80 carry chunked and one of them is a support chunked.
Well, if you're on the side of the trade, I'd rather be the one who has the support chunked.
Mm-hmm.
ADCs
Absolutely,
will run once they're about half health.
Oh, mid lane looks a little bit more interesting than I gave it credit for. Billy Butthole. Oh wait, Rel coming in for the engage. The stun comes out on Rel. That means Corki is free to hit. Ignite also comes down on Leona, who has flash but holds it. Walsey will get forced out here. Nope, going for the minion instead, which I respect, but that does mean that the health bar has turned in the favor of Walsey and Sapphire Gem. Oh wait, no, here comes a shot into W. Looks like it's actually kind of close on both sides.
Good control. Jungle's here, so we'll probably see the gank come out. Leona still has the flash.
Yeah, Zyra's there right now. We're looking mid, but I believe once this dissipates, we will be bot lane. The stun comes out onto Zyra. Root comes out onto Corki. Flash in from the dude I know. Barrier down. Corki still has flash, but doesn't get time to use it and dies in his Valkyrie. Meanwhile, Sapphire's still kind of hanging around because there is a Diana available eventually. But she backs off because Diana wants the crab because, I mean, that play's already over. You might as well get the crab. And, wait, actually? Samurai coming in onto Zyra, and Rel's here first because she knew this was happening. Flash forward, Zyra has nowhere to go. They're giving it over to... Oh, unfortunately, Sapphire didn't want Zyra to flash away. They knew that was up, so she ends up taking it. Between Diana and Galio, though, I don't think it's that bad if they don't get cold gold, but it is unfortunate.
Yeah, Billy wasn't able to roam, was pushed in, did land the W there. I believe it's his W, which is the crow.
Yes.
So it was able to at least, be in the play, even though, they're for the picture at the end.
Absolutely.
Does go over to Sapphire, as you said, and I do want to say, this dude I know was able to set up that kill for Trainer by having that patience to hold that flash from the previous play. So really good on this dude I know.
Yes, but Walsey also held flash, possibly because he thought the Valkyrie would get him out of safety. So that is still available, and it's kind of hard to gank a Corki with flash. I know we just saw it happen, but whenever your Leona doesn't have flash, Zyra might not have an easy time until Leona gets flash back, especially since there's no Hex flash for the dude I know. And so even though they lost out on the trade, they're still... Corki and Rel are pushing in, kind of, as a nice taunt comes in for 8 court.
The wave clear is definitely on the Quirky Rel side. Jhin, not known for his stellar wave clear as he reloads.
His ult can clear plenty of waves. It's just not available yet, okay?
Every minute he can clear a wave.
Exactly. He's the best wave clear. This top lane has gotten pretty exciting. Chukles is down a level and down 10 CS. But he is up a Sheen. because Matrix is not taking his teleport back yet. Oh, really good E4 taunt. Billy thought he was safe because this dude I know was there. But this dude I know now has to use a little bit of tempo going back.
Yeah. Huge
Oh,
engage.
the all-in as well, because this dude I know showed. Trainer is fighting Walsey, but there's minions hitting as well. Flash is out of that root. That's that flash hold I was talking about. And Trainer has the 4th shot. He has to hope it kills Flashes and gets it, and the barrier as well. This has become a disaster for Walsey because I think this is going to go to another... I guess Ignite going to take it? No, Samurai takes it. But you really wanted to go on Corky, and you definitely didn't want to trade 1 for 1 whenever you had 3 people for the play.
Insane that Trainer's able to actually kill Corky off that 4th shot from the flash in the
Chuko's
bush.
getting a really nice ult. Again, Matrix is not recalled yet. If he gets out of here now, it's good for his tempo. He's up ultimate, and he gets to teleport back in with a lot more gold. But it was pretty risky staying in lane that
Gangplank's
long.
in a lot of trouble.
Right. It actually was a bit of a bait. He flashes out of the root. Zyra flashes in just to get some kind of Q damage in. Here comes that dude I know. There's an orange as well. Ignite comes out. And I think he gets to live, but it's very close. He does live. Okay.
Wow.
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 Yeah, and you know, him living, it looks amazing because he outplayed everything, but honestly, I don't know that it puts him in a good enough spot to be okay, because Young gets to recall, walk back, not even teleport back, with so much gold spent, and a CS lead. So, yes, living is great. He does teleport back in, by the way, because the wave is in an awkward spot. But I think that Yon kind of gets to control the wave from now on for a little bit.
Yeah, it does have the CS advantage. You do see the early lifesteal coming up from the Yone, so they will have that bit advantage. The Yone's Ignite's down, so I'll have to see if they're able to get some pressure out of that for that burn gank, and Zyra no flash. So they do expend a bit.
Is mid lane like we said they wouldn't be, but Acorn just kind of walks away. Actually, he's in. There's not a Diana coming, so this is just a straight up 1v2 engage, but he knows Billy is not going to be brave enough to try to go for something.
Yeah.
Acorn gets a little trade there at the end.
That
Oh,
was
I think...
kind of the
No, that
scary
would've been
part that we mentioned, that with the jungles do show up mid, they would be the ones to die.
Right.
Like, and we did get to see that play out there. Zyra not happy with a full Galio combo on the pass by.
But you know what? At the end of the day, it's just one of your camps. You know, on your way from top camps to bot camps, get mid gank in. Meanwhile, the dude I know going in for a tower shot and not much else. Sapphire getting a really good engage, flashes out whenever she's low enough. But at the end of the day, it's really just Sapphire slash for the engage by this dude I know.
Yeah, I think Sapphire had slightly miscounted there, thought Jin had the force shot to clean that up, but actually used it to get Sapphire low. I'm not sure they get the kill, but didn't need to flash it.
That's a really good route, because Trainer still has ultimate ability. And that threat alone means Walsey has to play a certain kind of way with no flash.
Bale doing a good amount of damage with just a Sheen here and a cloak.
Yeah, I said that the lane was going to be harder for him, and he has had, unfortunately, an increase in that CS deficit, but it doesn't look like he's completely lost. And again, like you said, GP can get some really nice scaling if this continues to go in a stable way.
Yeah, Yon used the honey fruit there to kind of get some health back, so I have to see.
Alright, well this is where the stability can crack. Matrix coming in for an engage, still has ultimate. But, I mean, the bot lane Trainer is just fighting again. Walsey gets ignited. GP ult comes in, though, and that might be the difference maker as Walsey dies. But so does Jin. Samurai also here to try to clean up the Yona. They get flash for flash. All in here. And that's 2 kills. They did invest the GP ult, though. So Chukul's, I mean, I think he's fine, though. Like, the way that he's played it out. Yes, he has a CS deficit. Yes, he's had to ult bot lane now. But I just don't see Yon killing him.
Yeah, I think you're pretty happy with that on the side here of Jolly Rogers. You pick up 2 assists here on Chukul's. You pick up 2 kills on Diana.
Oh, we'll see if I'm wrong, though. Matrix has ultimate ability, but it would put him under tower, so it's just another... Oh, actually, this gank actually looks pretty big. Aquart will just walk away. Never mind. Ganking mid is a mistake. Don't do it. Wow.
Tanks
but
mid
it does give
are
them fire for
exciting.
grubs. Now, Samurai does find Yon. Yon has ultimate ability. Might try to use it to get out. Samurai trying to block it with Eing in. But once the cavalry arrives, that will be them backing off. Aquart has ultimate, but is chunked. so I'm not sure that Jolly Rogers wants to engage here.
Yeah,
But they do have Galley ult available if they do.
they don't really want to hand over 6 grubs.
Right, there's a teleport coming in from GP. That'll be after a reset. 1 grub will be taken. They have to start this, though, because you teleported in your gameplay. You're not going to take nothing. Flash in from Matrix, though, gets the ultimate. Zyro ult, Galio ult doesn't quite hit him either. He will be bursted out afterwards, though. And it's just not enough damage. A-Court flashing out as well. He's not dying. And if he's not dying whenever you flash in with the Yone, the fight's just over, right? Billy is trying to clean up anything he can. He does get the root on the support. But look at everyone else running away from a Diana. Galio gets the recall for free. And Samurai is still looking.
Yeah, somehow that turns into just a 1 for nothing, and they pick up 2 of the grubs.
Yeah, so they did get 1 grub on the side of OSG, so at least they've got, you know, the bonus little Voidling. But overall, it was a worthy investment of Tuchel's teleport and A-Court's ultimate.
Yeah, but man, if you're on the side of OSG here, you are not pleased with how that fight just went. You had full advantage, you had the positioning, and it just did not go how, at least how I expected that to play out.
Right, and if you're looking at grubs as well, remember a big part of it is getting all 3 for the feats of strength. They did get feats of strength of the Warfare, I believe, from the Jhin kill. Meanwhile, Billy has to flash. And Zyra doesn't have that luxury right now. Flash is out, sure, but Diana could just dash after you. And that will be another kill for Samurai, and Jolly Rogers is just turning it up. I think they get the first 3 objectives. This will be only their second one. I just don't see how Tactical Freeze ever contests the 3rd one. And they've only got 1 themselves. And then it's just a question of first tower. Meanwhile, top lane, a little exciting because Yone has to go back right into his face. Matrix does not have ultimate or flash, does have the shield though. And that's all he needs to walk out of here. Not enough though, flash in from Chuko's Q. Just not quite enough burst. I think he thought his passive was up and it just wasn't.
Yeah, we're starting to see, even with that CS deficit, there's 3 assists and that kill coming across. Like, more swords for Gangplank in that inventory. You know, 1 more sword would have gotten that kill. Sadly, doesn't have enough inventory slot to carry a 5th sword with him into that lane.
Yeah, 1 second, I'm gonna check something real quick. What? There might be a play mid. I'm gonna check something on the side here because
Definitely not a play mid.
I swear Yone built shoes too, and he doesn't have them right now. Meanwhile, Sapphire getting engaged on. Jhin is just completely out of the fight. He's chilling, getting that 4th shot off. Roll ult will whiff as well, and Jhin is just completely untouched. Now he's walking away now, but be prepared for him to ultimate once he has enough space. Barrier comes in for Walsey. A-Court coming down as well. Galio will find be able to make Leona back away. Leona will die, but again, Jhin has the ability to open up here. Walsey has to do some fancy footwork or just get behind A-Court. That still was just Leona dying, though. Yet, Billy also getting some plates mid and the CS advantage. Samurai's going to have to pick up a little bit of what was left open. So, actually kind of an equal gold exchange, but only 1 kill given over to Jolly Roger.
Yeah, Matrix playing a little bit of that bush cheese. Not quite as effective against the Gangplank, because barrels.
Barrel moments, for sure. Okay, I'm really curious. I'm gonna check this out. Maybe he sold them, and then and like undid it or something. But like I swear, he had shoes 2 out of base, and then he didn't. Either way, and all in here for Chukles. Not for Chukles, for Matrix. So there's another enemy team members here knocking up and stunning him. He just has no tools to get out of that. And it's just on the side lanes. People keep on moving. Like Sapphire went from bot to top after A-Court went from mid to bot. So it is just consistently Jolly Rogers grouping and the side lanes getting grouped on for OSG.
Yeah, great roams here coming out of Sapphire. Always being right there, and Wally playing back far enough doesn't get caught by the gank. So Samurai massively ahead now, 4-0 on this Diana. Does that 2500?
Oh, A-Court getting on a teleport. He doesn't need the ult to get in here. Gets the taunt as well. There's another teleport coming in. They really want to prevent this tower from falling. But it looks like the enemy team just gets to walk away. Rel might have something to say about that W's in, but the root, oh, double stunned into ultimate. But unfortunately, they just used 2 teleports, and even Diana's running down here, and all they get is for OSG to walk away.
Yeah, really close. Sadly, Gangplank's ult was not up to slow that down, so they couldn't really follow up on Sapphire's engage there with that double stun. But yeah, good escape by OSG.
Okay, I looked into it, and I guess I was just hallucinating things because he never had boots too. I think I was just thinking of a different game. But, side project done. Yelen's pushing top lane. If that first tower goes down, despite being behind, Tactical Freeze will get feats, and I think he's just got it. No, not quite. It's hard to tell without plates, because that has that handy number. Fortunately, the health bars of the towers look a little hard to read on the minimap. But still, even if the tower doesn't go down now, what tower is going down for Jolly Rogers to give them feats? I don't think there is one. Acourt finds Trainer in a side lane, though, and Jin isn't really known for his tools of getting away. But he is known for his tools for shooting you at a distance. I don't know if this is the fight he wants for. Shot might be a kill. He couldn't quite get it off Flash for Flash. And Trainer just solo kills the solo lane.
Has the collector.
Meanwhile, Samurai playing on this side because Galio will be, I don't know, gets the kill onto Zyra. Matrix, however, has a really nice line, is able to E back ult in. GPO trying to save anyone he can, but he's just not able to because Billy is in there. Matrix fighting Chukles, this will not go his way. Billy flashes over to try to live, but he's flashing into another GP. So GP has just been the benefactor of so many kills here. And I believe they're also going to get the Rift Herald.
Yeah, they should get the Rift Herald. Shining light there. Diana goes down there to Billy on that Swain. So all that shutdown gold goes over in the Swain. So you're kind of happy on where that gold went. But you are starting to lose a good amount of objectives. And these overall team fights are not going great. The 1v1s are fantastic.
The one silver lining for OSG Tactical, though, is even though they're behind and they've lost most of the fights, they actually got feats of strength. Simply because bot lane was ahead early and they got those 3 kills. And because of that 1v1 where Acourt just thought, I'm a mid laner, of course an AD carry can't kill me. And he was wrong.
Yeah, guess he didn't realize like Jin had finished the collector to take that engage, but it was in the inventory.
You have a Hall of Radiance, sir. That's not a Sunfire cape. Good luck with that.
It's definitely not helping you against the Jin.
So, with feats of strength, it's not as broken as people initially thought it was whenever it first came out. They were like, oh my gosh, the game is over at 10 minutes. But it does kind of help you whenever you're probably going to have to give this third dragon because of this GP being so strong. Although GP Chukles does not have teleport right now, and he is showing top lane. All he has to help his team right now is an ultimate ability. Billy finds a really massive root as well. Acourt has to stand here and tank these shots. So even though Jin ult didn't do much damage, it certainly put a huge positional advantage for Tactical. I don't think that turns anything, but the root might, because Acourt is just caught here, and there's no Galio ult for the Galio. So he will go down, and Chukles will get the top side of this play at least. But unfortunately, Jolly Rogers, top laner, did not want to go put that much investment into this dragon, and the rest of his team did.
Yeah,
so now they lose everything.
Yeah, there's just so much CC. Acourt does a really good job defending Samurai there from the Jin ult and taking a lot of the stuff. But Swain pullback, Zyra root, Leona stun. There is a layered CC that, when done correctly with this comp, the others are off cooldown, but before you are un-CC'd.
Yep. And Acourt just keeps on taking things that he thinks he's tanking enough for, and he's just not.
Yeah, not quite.
Maybe once Merc Treads are done. Which, of course, will not help with the Jin damage, but may help with the Jin root and the Swain root. Although it is really unfortunate, if he does go Merc Treads, he will have 0 armor and a lot of MR whenever this Jin is kind of stacking up. Like I said, Jin struggles to kill tanks. But not if he's given 4 kills a first tower. I mean, first tower doesn't give bonus gold, but still a tower by himself. And as well as a huge CS lead, most CS in the game.
Yeah, Trainer still farming excellent. Really in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, the Swain ultimate helps a lot whenever people come into you, but you've also got to have a team Because whenever 3 people are there and you've got no one, Swainalt ain't gonna help you that much.
Yeah, at 1-1, it's not a very scary Swainalt.
The plant's bothering Samurai, kind of funnily. But I don't think it really turns into anything. I mean, Trainer's looking with the Gen W. But no, it's just to bother her. And this matchup looks really horrendous. If Acor couldn't match the Jin, I'll tell you right now, he can't match Matrix. There's no armor on this guy. And even though Matrix has been struggling in his own lane, I mean, Jin versus Galio seems like... Or Jin, sorry. Oh, Shuko's trying to really hard to get this tower. This would be huge. That's 700 gold.
OSG's gonna have to deal with this gangplank. You cannot just let him in the side lane. You just lost 2 towers for nothing.
I was deriding Shukels for not being there for Dragon. Or not just Shukels personally, just like, you know, his team wasn't on the same page. But at the end of the day, maybe Shukels' page is right. We give up this Dragon and a day court kill, that's fine. I'm gonna pick up both top towers and have myself a 2.2k gold lead over my lane opponent as a carry top laner.
While being down in CS to that later. Kinda crazy.
Right, like, what's one Cloud Dragon whenever we can have a Gangplank with almost 3 items?
And you have almost a 3,000 gold lead on the Diana over the Zyra.
Yep.
So your one shining hope is Trainer has to carry this game.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, a little shiny thing on your boots as well. That's a nice little bonus. But
is it?
I don't know where that leads.
I don't know if that makes the defeat screen any better, but you do have a shiny emblem on your boots.
Exactly. You got an extra item you can buy. It's so cool.
Just
Except for Cassiopeia.
That's right. Cass gets nothing. As the snake should.
This is where dragons get really interesting. Chukos will have teleport for this next dragon in 2 minutes. And I don't believe he's going to abandon his team, because that teleport will be available. The vision's going to be hard, and again, if OSG Tactical have to give up this 3rd dragon, we have to start talking about Soul. And Cloud Soul makes Jin unable to play the game. He's just like, what is he firing at? Like, ghosts, right? So... yeah, if you have to fight eventually, but fight right now, they are in mid lane, because Walsey gets rooted here into Jin ult, and there's just no one to help him. Even Galio ult is out of range. He flashes. Here comes the Galio ult. It's just too late, I think. But this dude I know doesn't have damage. Zyra ult comes in. A fight has started. Quirky can only lay rockets from the outside. Trainer will get killed by that, though. As Zyra trying to run through the queue can't make it. Billy is just here too late. Once your Jin goes down, the fight is over. I mean, the tower is a good enough buddy. Maybe you can make this 1v4 work. But at the end of the day, they just walk out of Swain ult, and then you're busted.
Absolute catastrophe here for OSG. The fight you had looks so good. Acre hero plays in to save wallets. And they're just faster on the moment. The TP's
I really thought
coming
he
first.
wasn't going to be there in time. And because Dragon is 30 seconds out, why not just take the Otacon? I believe it is the Ruinous one, which will give you bonus for all of the dragons you already have, plus those roses, which will increase your gold and XP lead. I mean, not gold specifically, but stats. Alright, someone hit these flowers. Yeah, Chukul, stop that recall. Don't be lazy. But now they're in an awkward time. I believe they do have to give up this dragon, because, I mean, Billy's top lane showing with no teleport. But look at the recall timers. You got Otacon. I think it was the right play, but surely this means you have to give up Dragon afterwards, right?
It would be very scary for OSG to walk in and be just like, cool, we just lost a massive team fight. We're going to take Dragon in front of you. It looks like it's going to happen.
It isn't a cross map.
But it really shouldn't have just happened.
I mean, they say League is like a chess game, right? Even if the chess moves are right next to each other, if one team has to recall because they just got all that gold from the team fight and then they don't get the recall in time, I mean, yeah, you get the dragon. It's just really scary to face check because some League players are wild, you know, they'll stay out with 3k gold and just kill you again.
Yeah,
Diana's got a really nice flank here. Trainer is just a front line. That's not where Jen is supposed to be. Look at the CC chain. He goes down immediately, and that's your entire team right now. Billy does not have the ability to hold here. I mean, he lives again, sure. But with Jen being down, it looks like the next chess move on the board is going to be Baron. And that one is close to checkmate.
Yeah, you got the dragon, and then you kind of took a risky play. Once again, getting baited here by this Quirky. it's really awkward to see ADCs play this way. Hey, I'm out of position. Like, at this point, I'm wondering if this is just a pure bait and masterclass here by Wally. If he's purposely this far out to bait and trainer twice now.
The first one was a little sus, I'm not gonna lie, but the second one, I mean, you're playing against Galio. You can't be doing this, right? Someone who's caught out, are they really caught out? We saw where Galio was on the screen the first time. But, OSG was just kind of hoping he wasn't in ult range, and he almost wasn't, and then he was. The second time, I mean, you've got no vision because you spent your chess move going to the bot side. Clearly, they're going to set up for the top side because that's where the next objective is, Baron. And you're just playing around this mid Corki who you hope doesn't get Galio ulted. And once everything comes into collapse, your Jin's just in the wrong spot. So yeah, I think, Walsey kind of gets to play up. There's no point where he doesn't get to have mid-prio at any point in this game. His tower's right there. He's got a Galio. He's got a GP ult. He is completely safe.
Yeah, the AE ults are just stronger. The gold's in better shape here for Jolly Rogers. I mean, 10-1 here on Samurai on this Diana. Layered with the GP ult, barrels, and the Galio. I mean, you just saw that damage insta-popped for Matrix and Trainer Gain.
Yeah, it's really funny. With the swing, the whole idea of the comp is they dive Jin, but he's a million miles away because he's a sniper. And then Swain ult completely wrecks him. Meanwhile, Samurai getting completely wrecked by Jonas into Zyra ult. That's 2 knockups plus Jin ult available. He might get the jungler. I just don't know if he gets more. Galio ult is just a lifesaver though! Because OSG just collapse and assemble on top of OSG Tactical Freeze. Sorry, I think I said that wrong. Jolly Rogers collapses, gets all of the kills. Once again, Billy's still alive. And that was with the Baron buff still on their members. This should be so much damage to the base of OSG Tactical Freeze.
Yeah, this looks like this will break base, and that was just straight wallet diff right there. The gold lead just balloons off of this into 10k, probably goes to 11 here for this. And
yeah, but it's also a little bit of an assembly diff, right? You catch out Diana in the bot side and you think you're golden, and then just suddenly a Galio ult shows up and a GP ult shows up. Feels like Globals have kind of got OSG's number right now.
Yeah, they use some really key ults there that I think you would need to save for that fight.
Speaking of which, ults are down now. There's no Galio ult available. Samurai's still going in, looking for Zyra. Will get that, but you're still in the base of the enemy team. Yon also going down. I mean, I guess they just get to go away with it.
Yeah, you can't really stop. The damage is just so insane right now. Like, Matrix using that ult, single target trying to pick this Diana. The Jin ult coming across, single target trying to pick the Diana. Like, you use so much so early that when the team fight started. Yeah, and they didn't even get it because of Galio.
But what I was saying before, right? The whole point of the Swain pick and the Jin pick, your Jin's supposed to be a million miles away sniping at them, and they're supposed to try to dive in, and then you got Swain just completely eviscerating them. 5 people in a Swain ult is very easy to play that with Jin as well. But unfortunately, they've been playing the assassin side. Like, I feel like Diana's on what Masterum's playing because we're constantly seeing OSG look for a pick, and maybe that's because they're behind and they're trying to find something, but it's just not how their comp can be played. So unfortunately, because they're behind and they're feeling the pressure or other reasons, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, you pretty much have to find a pick once you're down this far. Team fighting is definitely not an option. I mean, that hasn't gone well at all this game. So without a pick, it's really tough.
How do you find a pick against Galio GP? It's just impossible.
Vision. You need to know where Galio is and pick somewhere he isn't on the opposite side of the map.
Essentially. Speaking of which, Billy is on the opposite side of the map. They are willing to give up Distraction because they were able to pick up 2 free ones. And that means Billy is able to pick up some nice gold, but this would be the 3rd time his team gets engaged on while he's not available if it happens. Looks like he's going to recall because Black Pearl is looking for the Nexus push. And, if they get it, great. If they don't, if they bite off a little bit more than they can chew, which is 2 Nexus towers and a Swain ult, this could be the window where you start to scale. It just looks so far off right now.
Is that too much, though, for as far ahead as they are? The double
I don't
rifts.
think so.
Yeah,
I'm just saying sometimes it's nice to play by the book and get the third inhib, but you know what? We don't have to be here all night. Let's just push the Nexus towers and see what happens.
Yeah, I think we're quickly coming to that that end. Stacking up is really tough around the inhibs against the gangplank, particularly because of those barrels are going to come in.
Right, but the awkward thing is they don't have Baron buff, and
Yet.
even though we've made fun of Jin's wave clear before, Swain and Zyra can kind of just clean it up. So the siege doesn't really accomplish anything but buy time for Baron. And the other thing is, I think bot inhib will be dead for Baron Swan, so it's not a big deal. But eventually, OSG can walk out of their base and kind of let their Nexus Tower falls because these inhibitors are respawning. And in fact, this recall timer, if it completes for 2 members, means that OSG, if they had perfect vision, could go set up wards right now. Obviously, they don't know that Samurai and Sapphire are in base. And it's kind of hard whenever you see a GP right there, like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah,
But any vision they get right now is pretty good.
pretty scary. You see the GP and you're just like, oh, so there's barrels in the bush behind me or something like that.
Right, and the dude I know does have to flash away from the rel engage. Hopefully they don't get baited in by this. We've seen this before. That rel is completely safe. Do not hit that rel. And that means the Baron will start.
And Acre did shove in that top wave, so Matrix has to deal with that or lose another tower.
Right, and they're going in blind right now. Jin will get a lot, but there's a Galio coming in. This is the fight they want. It just might be too late. Billy is going to ult 5 of them, 4 of them at least. The stun comes in. Teleport from Yoda so late because Billy's already at half health. Yono will find the carries, but Billy is dead, and now Yon has no options. And you know, if that fight happened, you know, 15 minutes ago, or if they found that fight without being so far behind, maybe it works. Fortunately, they found it whenever they're down 10k. And that means that Jolly Rogers will take game 1.
Yeah, that was the fight they wanted and exactly how they wanted to play it. Sadly, once your GP is 814, i.e. Trinity Collector Essence, you can't really stand on the barrels anymore.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want, really, as the GP, right? Like, hit a barrel somewhere, and we're good.
And what a huge game coming out of Jolly Rogers, as I think that's their first win of the split. What a time to come online.
With no ban, or only 1 ban, by the way. Let me just double check that you're right.
Yeah.
Yes, you're completely right.
They haven't
There is
taken
not
a single
only-
game.
Correct. Well, no, incorrect. I'm sorry to inform you, or I'm happy to inform you. They have taken a single game. We just saw it.
I stand corrected.
They have taken a single game, and if they take 1 more, they will be up there with the top 4.
Well, if there was ever time to turn a season around, it's probably at the start of playoffs.
Right, exactly. I mean, that is kind of the nature of the format, right? Like, yes, this round is an extra round that other teams don't have to play, but at the end of the day, if you win this one, you're basically on equal ground with everyone who didn't get first or second. No,
Yeah.
sorry. You are on equal ground with everyone, basically. I mean, your seeding's kind of awkward, but you are in this, there's no more buys. You win this one, and you're on equal ground with everyone, essentially.
Yeah, completely right.
And that was without 2 bans, again. Somehow they were able to not ban Jin, let Trainer have it, and basically bring it to his deficit.
Yeah, really well played. Although it looks like teams are going to stay the same size. So
Yeah,
we will
makes
see
sense.
OSG over on blue again. And Jolly Rogers back on red. But they will have all of their bans this time.
Yeah, but, like, do you need them? I mean, what did you see that you need to ban? Maybe the Jin.
I mean, it
Maybe
helps,
think-
doesn't it?
Right? Yeah, apparently. Ostensibly, sure, but I don't know. Like, it's interesting because usually teams do not just get 2... I guess in Fearless they do, but they don't usually get gifted, 2 free extra bans after a win. So, where do you even point those? I guess maybe you could say the Ornn, because you don't want that early rotation. You know, you showed that you wanted to ban at game 2, and then you showed you were willing to play Gangplank, and it kind of popped off. If OSG don't want to ban Gangplank, maybe they want to pick Ornn, so Junior, Jolly bans Ornn instead, and then you don't have to worry about the GP counter.
Well, I think you have
I
another
guess.
problem because there's no way Jin comes through. Trainer's got to be on something else. One of those bands has got to be the Jin. So your
I
stable, win
mean,
condition bot lane.
there's definitely an angle where you don't give him the gen. I do agree, but at the end of the day, um, Jin got everything he wanted, and he just wasn't able to pop off. You know that he was effectively countered by both the globals and the tanks at the end of the day. Now maybe you could say tactical just needs to play the team fights better, and then suddenly that doesn't become the case. But if you're just picking the same 5 champions, maybe you don't need to ban the gen.
I mean, that would be a bold choice. Then what would you ban? Like, what would you
I
feel?
think the
You have two
Ornn,
free bans. Well, they already banned.
right?
They
I
banned
think
Ornn last time.
they banned Ornn in the second round. I think you banned Ornn in the first round because you've shown you're willing to play Gangplank. And if that happens, maybe OSG says, I don't want to play against Gangplank, but I want to keep my bans. I'm going to blind pick Ornn, and now you're going to have to change your top laner, or else you're going to be countered. And so I think that's one thing they can do. On the other hand, maybe they just ban the Jhin and say to hell with it. Trainer, you gave us a really hard time in the early lane phase. We're not going to give you a chance to get that again.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, it is a weird situation, again, where you've got 2 bans that you just didn't have after your win. You kind of get to do whatever you want with it, basically.
It's gonna make this draft a lot more interesting.
Well, I mean, imagine being OSG right now. You've got to make so many adaptations, and you've got to deal with 2 extra bans. This draft has got to be stressful. Whenever you come out of draft and then you lose the game whenever you've been gifted such an advantage, and now you've got to win the game where you don't have that advantage, it definitely means that you've got to buckle down and realize that, like, we have to take this draft seriously.
Yeah, I definitely
Unless
don't
you
envy
think
that
of the play
position.
diff. Mm-hmm. I
Here we
mean,
go.
one thing you
draft
could definitely
starts.
do is just not pick Yone into Gangplank. In fact, the Yone was blind, although flexed.
I doubt they expected a Gangplank to come out though.
Yeah, exactly. So, there's definitely other things they can change without worrying about the bans. The Hui is the first ban, which was the only ban last time. And now Jolly has to show us something different.
So Sapphire picked on once again.
The Galio
They
is
banned
banned.
their own Galio. Okay.
Interesting.
Now this was
I think they're gonna
Ivern
ban
last
Jhin.
time.
Yeah, I think they're gonna ban Jhin, and they realize that OSG is going to then have to come up with a new blue side pick one. And maybe taking away the Galio would make a lot of sense. So that means JR can aggressively ban it instead. But that means the Jhin ban is likely. Because if you're not banning Jhin, then I think OSG just take Jhin and then you take Galio. So why would you ban Galio unless you're banning Jhin?
Yeah, I agree. They're cooking something here. I'm not saying okay, it is the Jin. You're spot on.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because you would just let them have Jhin and then you take Galio again and say, well, we'll run it back. But if you're banning Jhin, then they're like, what's our blind pick? I guess it's Galio, and then you're kind of cooked, because now you have to play against the Galio. Ashe is an interesting one. It's a similar pick to Jhin, has a similar kind of playstyle where you're utility rather than damage, but it's a little bit less concerning whenever she gets jumped on, because she has a bit more tools to deal with it. Diana run back for presumably Samurai. I don't think I'll flex anywhere else.
Yeah, I would imagine what went 13-1, 13-2 on that Diana last game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no reason not to play that Diana again if you don't think they have an answer to it.
But now you've got to change something because you banned your own Galio. Is it something that has a global still? There's not that many of those mid lane. Or do you not blind pick mid lane?
I wouldn't blind mid here. I'd go AD.
Right. We got Corki, which
Good
again
flex.
could be a flex. I bet it's bot lane though because, I mean, it just seems you already see the enemy AD carry, and I think they're going to go for something interesting mid lane. I don't imagine they're going to update the bot lane. But we'll see.
Well, it gives you the option. You can flex it between the two if you really don't like what you see mid.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they hold counter the entire time. A Graves. Now, I haven't seen a Graves in comp in a long time.
It does mean that Yone probably is changing and swaying. Oh wait, no, actually it was Yone top. I don't know.
It was.
Leona gets taken, but this does mean you're gonna pick AP somewhere, and I imagine it's mid lane. Now with Diana Corki showing, it could still be Swain. I mean, Billy did fine in lane. It looked very good. Obviously, he won't be against Galio again, but every time I saw Billy, he was hitting an E. That's a blind Gangplank again, though, and that means Orin's going to get banned. Probably Aurora as well.
Yeah, I would imagine the Aurora ban comes out too. It was
And
banned
I
last
don't think
time.
we're going to see Yone run back. Now, Matrix definitely had moments where he could have popped off a little bit better if the team fights were played a little bit better around the timing of grubs. And, you know, there were some plays that just didn't go his way, but, I mean, even in lane, it didn't look like he was punching that much, right? He had a 20 CS lead.
Yeah, lane heat
He
was
had teleport
fantastic.
advantage.
It was more not having the vision to play up as far as he was, and the continual ganks that he was
And the other
just chain punished for.
And the other thing is, if you get a lead where you get a 20 CS lead on Gangplank and he still has impact on the rest of the game, is that really a good enough counter pick, or do you want something else that can either outscale or hold him down more? We're going to pick the swing for ourselves on Jolly, though.
And Acorn's going to take the Swain.
And that's
Devious.
flexed as well. Swain hasn't been seen play bot lane that much, but I mean, you could swap the Corki and Swain. And that makes it really hard to pick into because those are two very different lane champions.
So
Especially since Swain into Leona Ashe feels really good, right? Like, you do get poked out by Ashe, sure, but Leona's never eating into you easily.
that is Mbessa
Okay.
top.
I believe so.
That is one of Matrix's favorite picks. Is
Now
that Mbessa.
that one, surely if Mbessa gets a 20 CS lead on Gangplank, that matchup goes differently.
Mbessa with 20 CS on anyone is a painful game.
You know, it's kind of interesting because now we've completely swapped roles.
Lux will be the
That
mid.
is Lux mid. And I believe you would want to play Corki into that, but I don't know. Mid lane's kind of rough there either way. Janna, I mean, it is a counter to Leona. You're not really worried about losing lane. I mean, you could just go swing Janna bot lane. I think they're going to send Corki Janna bot lane because maybe their bot laner doesn't play Swain. So I don't think either setup is wrong here. But man, playing Ashe Leona into Swain Janna sounds really annoying.
Yeah, I agree. I hope it's the Swain Janna bot lane. That is an extremely toxic lane. And does
At the
very
end,
well into Ashe Leona.
I do believe Swain also matches Lux better. Corki lost a lot of his mid ability to handle mages whenever he got moved to the bot lane, essentially. I mean, he's still fine, don't get me wrong. But you're always going to give prio, and Corki's a little bit worse at that than Swain, I think. I mean, I don't know. Lux, it's interesting because Lux mid is also somewhat rare.
Unless Bubble's in the game, sure.
Right, sure. Yeah. Sure.
But I don't know. Lux doesn't do a great job about killing the tanky mages. Swain's, Gallios, like Swain's
Yeah,
a
I
lot to
think that
kill.
You can definitely put your Swain on your more comfortable player and be happy with it. You definitely put that Ashe in like a horrible hell of her own making if you put Swain bot lane. But at the end of the day, the Swain also matches the Lux better, so I think it's just about player comfort. And Bessa is locked in top lane. As we all knew it would be. Swain, or Gangplank is also locked in top lane, which is, yeah, you know, understandably. And we're about to see what A Court is taking. It will be the Swain mid lane and the Corki bot lane. Which again, I don't think is that bad of a choice. Now, Corki Janna, I didn't think about it because I was thinking about the Swain Janna, but that's kind of an awkward lane. You definitely like it for the team fights later in the game. Playing on the Corki Swain Janna side feels really good, especially with the Gangplank. But for laning phase specifically, Corki Janna could struggle a little bit into Ashe Leona in a way that Swain wouldn't, I think.
I don't think I've seen Corki and Janna in the same lane since what, season 2?
Right.
Season 3?
Right, and
It's
there's a
been
reason
a
for
very
that.
long time since they've played
Right,
together.
Corki's identity has completely changed. He wants to go in, not out. And Janna's not very good at that.
Jenna is like full disengaged. Like, I don't want to be here anymore, which makes sense into this comp, but it's going to be a very awkward lane, but maybe it's a farming. We did see Sapphire
Right.
will roam a lot, so, and Corki is a safe pick for Wally. He played that very well in the 2v1s and even 3v1s, managing not to die. So maybe that's the call again. We're going to see Sapphire just running around here on this Janna.
Ironically, I think the person that's changed identity the most here, though, is going to be JR's jungler, because Diana wants to dive in, but now she's against Lux, Leona, Ash, and Bessa. She's got Swain Jana on her team. It looks completely different.
She still wants to fight Lux and Ash, and just not want to be the first one in on Graves.
Exactly.
You really want
And
Graves to be looking at Swain, and then Diana would love to talk to Graves from behind.
Right. So it's like a little weird counter-engage thing with Diana, which is a very hard role for assassins to play. It takes a long time for people to learn as assassins whenever they're not going to just, oh, 80 carry, I see 80 carry, I press R and 80 carry. You know.
It is a tough
and
one.
So we'll have to see. We'll have to see if that level has been reached by Samurai, and we will see that after a quick break, and then we'll be on to game 2.
I never see the lights out. They get me overdrive. Fancy on a fast car. This is how you make me feel. Don't stress me now. I got the overdose. I'm feeling it in my bones. And if you say that I'm lying to you, these habits are killing me. I wish I could fall asleep. The problem is you. Oh, I got the overdose.
We will fall apart. That's the way it goes.
Welcome back to we're welcome back to game number 2 of Tactical Freeze versus Jolly Rogers Black Pearl, and we've got an interesting spicy level 1. I guess if you're, worried about how game 1 went, just send it on level 1 and see what happens. You've also got a better comp with Ash, right? So we'll see what happens. They find Swain here. The CC isn't in front though. Here comes the Q though, and I believe that's a dead Swain. They give it over to Masterum.
Yeah,
And
great
that will help
invade,
a lot.
good plan.
Mm-hmm.
Acre doesn't react off the invade and pays the price. Really choosing the wrong direction there. You kind of wanted to go up.
Sure. I mean, the only thing I would say is that maybe Lux can go first, so that way she always hits that Q. But if you're just confident in your skill shot, screw it. Like, be where you want, you know?
Yeah, like
But
I
they did-
think he could have flashed it, but some people will give that up. Did get
Now,
6
they did-
stacks, so
Yeah, and I don't think they got a ward off for that invade, so I
They did
believe
not.
Samurai is just kind of clearing without the enemy team knowing where he is. I bet he assumes that they know where he is, so it just ends up in being exactly the same in effect, but kind of an interesting thing that they didn't use any wards. That's another Q for Billy. Every time I see Billy in lane, he's just hitting skill shots. And I guess Lux and Swain are pretty good champions to do that on, so good champ pull so far.
It's kind of giggling at the top lane. Minions weren't even there, and they were dueling in the bushes. Just them
That's just how
best
top lanes
gangplank.
go whenever they finally get carries, you know? We don't have to play Ornn. We're gonna be That's the second time I've also seen this dude I know miss an E at early levels, but he tends to pull them off later in the game, so we'll give him a pass this time.
Yeah,
Level 2 given over once again to Walsey and Sapphire. And this trade's going a lot better for them, because that minion's not dying for a long time. There it goes now. But this dude already used E, so that's just a huge health lead for the bot lane.
yeah, you don't really want that E to land at level 1. It's interesting to take it at level 1, but with the invade, I guess.
Oh, I did notice something. Oh, real quick, and Bessa fighting Gangplank as usual. Unfortunately, you didn't update the overlay during our break, so it is not game 1. Jolly Rogers won game 1, and now they're running back a similar comp, just a few spicy changes.
I apologize. Let me get that taken care of for everyone. There we go. Sorry about that.
There we go. It's okay, we got it all cleared up. People figured it out whenever I said it was game 2, and they're like, why is the score 0-0 then? Was there a draw? No?
Right.
That doesn't make sense. There aren't draws in League
No.
of Legends. What is this, chess?
Just a
I guess I was using a
production
chess metaphor.
fail. Is what that was.
Well,
Matrix,
Matrix
very
getting
aggressive.
some nice trades, and I feel like it's going a little. Oh wait, actually, Acord has to flash because Billy once again just constantly hitting skill shots.
All right.
This dude I know gets the W out, so we will not count that as a miss.
Can
Even
I-
though it is kind of funny to see the second E go wide, or not wide, just get a little cooldown out. And I feel like Chukles is having a much harder time with this lane. The health bars are equal, sure. But Mbessa doesn't have a mana bar, and Chukles doesn't either. Not because he's not a mana champion, but because he's used it all.
Yeah, gonna have to eat a lot more oranges in this lane.
Okay, with Corki being slowed, Leona E should be very easy to hit here. Actually, a preemptive W from Walsey. And that's the best kind of E to, go out and send. One that doesn't even get sent. You just get the skill or the dodge out first.
Yeah,
That's
very
disgusting,
patient
just
down
shielding that
bot lane.
barrel. Because now Chukles just has nothing and has to take all that damage. And how is he going to farm at a tower whenever Mbessa can dive at any time? Diana is here to cover, but that means that Samurai did not get grabbed. It's another E getting another skill shot. And Maelstrom's actually going for mid. Gets rooted, but gets rooted himself. And that means A-Court should go down here. And Billy just playing the lane very well from level 1 till level 4, getting a kill. Here comes like another fight. He gets a flash this time, and the funny thing, it was a flash after the E missed. But you know what? If you get the flash, you get the flash. Who cares about how it went?
Did get the cleanse also. So Wally burns it all to stay alive.
And that means Graves kind of has his pick of where to go. Top lane's great, because Chukles just had to teleport in with not the greatest buy. Obviously mid's great, because Flash is down and he died. And then bot lane has no sums either, so, you know, Madoran basically gets to choose where he wants to have his impact, and it will be a great gank.
Yeah, OSG in
Although-
much better position here in the early game.
This is always a risky trade where the enemy has teleported in with items and you just haven't, so there's just no way you win! And Matrix, I understand the vision. Oh, rare Q miss from Billy, and A-Court hits the E. No mana for Billy, Samurai's also here, so that lane will also stabilize, but this means with Chukles getting the kill as well, you know Mbessa's not going to want to teleport down. And you know the enemy bot lane just reset, so why not just grab yourself a dragon? But again, what I was saying, I understand the vision. Your opposing laner just teleported in. You've got to leave. Sure, you don't have items, but any trade where you don't die is health on their teleport back, and then you get the teleport back with full health. However, you can't die. That just is a free 300 gold. That ruins everything. So, unfortunately, good idea, poor execution, and just gives over a free solo kill.
Yeah, I agree. That's one of the big things I'm constantly on my top laners about. You know, if you see the enemy top laner, get out. Don't go for the greedy little health trades to get that advantage. Just get your back in.
Right.
I preach it to my
ready?
top laners, but it's not always.
Apparently no one preached to Matrix, because he had an ICS lead. I mean, he came back with Boots, Longsword, Cloth Armor, which was much more gold spent than 2 Longswords. Meanwhile, Wasi going in on Trainer while Leona's gone roaming. Samurai, oh my gosh, they're using everything! Not only is Diana here, but GP was also using Trainer, just flashes and barriers and gets out.
Yeah, great job by Trainer to be able to get out of that. 3 Void Grubs grow over, and they expend just Diana's flash. So, flash.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. They already got the dragon, right? Usually at the higher levels what happens is Grubs is the main important fight and no one goes for dragon unless they have a clear advantage. But they had a clear advantage, so they got dragon. And then they saw Leona roaming, which I'm not sure she had to, because this dude I know probably could have known that once the enemy team gets dragon, they're not going to go for Grubs as well. It just depends. But unfortunately, they can't punish the roam because they come in and they just don't get the kill. I mean, it still punishes the roam, right? You got flash and barrier down on Trainer. There could be a regank, which is the punish. It's just unfortunate the Trainer lives there.
Yeah. Nice little 3-barrel chain there, trying to catch Matrix sleeping. Did well to avoid it. But these trades are very back and forth.
Right, Chuko's lead is not, like, that material. I think Dirk is a very good lead, but the momentum shift is just so strong whenever you come back and get a solo kill. Like, even if the gold is even, you just don't feel good as the other laner coming back and trying to trade evenly. And so, Chukos is just trading for everything he's got.
Yeah, just go ahead and pushing it.
Oh, Matrix doesn't care, though. He's going into a full minion wave, going out a little bit again. And Gameplay's just hitting him. He just with my gun.
That is tough.
This is a dive potential, especially now that Matrix wastes ultimate. Diana could come at any point, or they could just try to solo dive Chukles right here with flash available. And it looks like Matrix knows the jig is up, has to leave, and that means that he's giving up a full wave.
You know, I haven't seen this matchup enough to know. Even if Mbessa lands it, can GP just orange out of Mbessa's ult? And avoid the damage and the CC?
I definitely know that, but I'm not telling you for reasons that are unclear. I don't think so. I believe... You know, this is like off of intuition, which is interesting, because League has this like built-in logic that you can kind of feel Like, yes, polymorph does stop smite because it's a polymorph, which is kind of like a suppression, I believe. But no, other stuns don't or something. And I think orange doesn't stop something where she literally grabs you by the throat. I could be wrong. Kind of like Alistar Q. But Alistar Q you can kind of cleanse in a way that lets you flash, so... You know, the game also is just built on random logic too, so that's going to be homework for the viewers at home to look up. Meanwhile, the Janna interruption showing the counterpick's power. But unfortunately, it might not matter. Ignite goes off as well. No, Sapphire's fine. Arrow comes in as well. And Sapphire knows not to heal, which is crazy, because I would have healed there. But she just did the math and says, I'll live. I don't care.
Shout out to chat for answering that question. Ambessa's ult is airborne, so Citrus does not stop it, similar to like Malphite's ult. You're taking it regardless.
Thank you for doing the homework, chat, because I wasn't sure if that was going to be on the law wiki. Makes sense, though. But at the end of the day, why orange it whenever you can just dodge it?
Yeah, but how often are you going to see this matchup again to know that that's exactly how that works?
True. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Shukel's mashing the W button the next time he gets ulted. Like, get me out of this. Either way, both objectives are spawning at similar times, which is pretty rare. Usually, Dragon is taken second if they are traded. And with the longer spawn time, that means Grubs comes up first by itself. Now they've only got about a 20-second leeway. So teams can once again trade. But it doesn't look like they want to, because both junglers are here on top side. Janna's here as well, and Leona's still in base. Samurai getting that smite fight off, but will he get the smite fight off on the Grubs?
It does look like everybody's showing up to this. Leona a little late here for this dude I know.
Yeah, but Leona being late's okay.
Looks like
these
they're
Grubs take
giving...
forever. They are giving for now. I just wouldn't be surprised if it's a late engage, because again, these Grubs take forever, and they're going to take longer if you run out of patience. Kind of awkward. And so now, look, Samurai's health bar is pretty low. But the root lands onto Mestrum, so he has to flash. The root lands on Swain as well, though, and there's so much burst coming back out. The GP ult was used. It does look like they're going to get two, but look at Ambessa ult. Finds the Diana. Diana can't do anything. Nearsighted. Root stunned. Dead. Without Diana, you're not contesting anything. An arrow comes in for fun. But either way, just a nice CC chain on the Samurai.
Yeah, arrow probably a little late. If that was there when the Lux Bind was there and everybody was sitting in the river, that would have been an amazing arrow. Yeah, it just ends up turning into 1-0, and they get one grub, so they have the 4. So we will see little void
It's kind
things.
of a similar situation where Trainer hasn't gotten it this time, but still OSG has gotten the Feats of Warfare. The epics are kind of awkward. It's 1 each, so it really comes down to the next dragon again. And then for first tower, no tower is basically touched at all, so no one knows who's gonna get feats at this point.
So we like no towers being touched at all. Really good job by kiting out Anchor Flows. The Swain out there. Yeah.
Okay, that's some nice dodges by Trainer, by the way. I don't know if it matters though, because you can't dodge auto attacks. But Ashe auto attacks are hurting a lot, but Janna's just here in time. Barrier for barrier, flash out. And Walsey knows his support's coming first and stopping their support. There's no Q though for Janna. Flash in from Leona. Walsey is dead. Give it over to Graves, please. They do not. Which is okay. But it feels a little awkward. But Leona, Lux is here. Samurai just overstays a little bit much. Has to flash.
Yeah, nice little flash.
Into the bush.
Good job by Samurai to get out of that after getting caught. Did not risk it to go over the thick part of that wall. That's a little deceptive to try and flash over that.
But this isn't a version of last game. This time Ambessa's doing pretty well, other than that solo kill aside. And then the feats are still going to... Oh, wait, actually this fight looks really real. There's no ultimate for Ambessa yet. I didn't even see that arrow on the minimap. I gotta look for that next time. But the second objective goes over to Tactical Freeze, and that means they need either first tower or one more objective, and that's such a powerful position to be in. And there's no Fed GP. He's got 1 kill to Ambessa's 1 kill. And, you know, the Swain is doing poorly again, but this time it's on the opposite side of the rift.
Props to Trainer for going for that arrow. That was extremely close to hitting when would have resulted in a kill.
Right, but now Ambessa ult is up. And there's no arrow, so it's really about if that art will land. Because, again, there will be no orange to save you.
So, yeah, it is kind of flipped. Jolly Rogers is winning the bot lane. This time, mid's going the opposite direction. Jungle's going the opposite direction. Top's still this kind of odd place where they're both winning.
Oh, I didn't pay attention last time, but I don't believe that Samurai built this last time. I do think it's a good adaptation, but I believe he's going for a more tanky build with Leandries and then most likely into Tank Diana. Chuko's caught here though. The teleport back into fight has been turned around. I think he's caught out, but Infesta just can't chase after the ult. I mean, I don't know. It feels like she can, but Samurai was there.
Yeah,
Diana apparently was there too. So, I mean, it's still a good trade, but it feels like it was so close to turning into a kill.
Yeah, the ward does catch Samurai there, makes her choose just to back off rather than risk the 2v1. It's not a bad call. Probably a little jumpy after game 1 there, where he was ganked on repeat time after time.
Yeah. The Yone top was not allowed to Yone.
Yeah, when you see
Okay,
one person, you're used to, from game 1, it was always a 3-person gank.
There's an interesting situation brewing where we see Rift Herald spawning. If you care about feats at all, you've got a really awkward spot for JR because Rift Herald spawning on the top side and bot tower is pretty chunked. OSG can commit to either one and get feats because first tower will get them feats, one more objective will get them feats, one more epic objective. So essentially, they can set up for one of them and hope the enemy team isn't there, and they just win the feats.
Top is really
Or we
low
could
as
see
well.
Also, if we see a similar thing of last game, A-Court will get solo killed by Trainer and then Tower will go down. I don't think that's gonna happen this time, but you know, it could.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Acor wants that fight again.
Well, I mean, the other thing is that the A-Court has teleport and Ash only has arrow. Meanwhile, Matrium finds Chukos, who has flash and a lot of health, so he'll be fine. But this does mean that Swain can just walk up early. Actually, yeah, Ash is just committing for the tower. So you see OSG here. I don't think they want to fight this because Swain could teleport in. And so I think what's going to happen is they're going to bait the Swain teleport and then they'll get the tower with Ash for feats. But you never know. Maybe they'll go for the fight and just hope Ash arrow is enough. In fact, Ash recalling here says they want to do the opposite of that. I mean, I don't know. The choice is really theirs.
Easy to land arrow from base on this one, if you want to fire that down. It's always my
Doesn't look
more
like it's
preferred
committed
play.
yet. Oh, Ash is actually firing arrow at A-Court, which is interesting. It does mean teleport wouldn't be able to be used. It misses as well. So I think A-Court gets first tower in a weird inversion where they're just not going for Rift Herald and Ash went for a reset timer. No, the tower's too healthy for that. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen now. I set it up and then just like everything went out differently. A-Court, if you get solo killed again, I mean, we called it, right? Ash can just kite around the ultimate. Meanwhile, GP ult coming in on Leona. And this 4v4 is not one that you want, especially where Leona's just caught. Lux ult does help kill Samurai, though. And a 1-for-1 would be very nice. Samurai trying to escape, but so was Graves. And Best ult just barely misses her and goes for Jan instead. But they'll take Sierra as well as Samurai. Because Mbessa can still get the Diana on the other side, and A-Court was just too low from the trade to get in at all. Now, Shukel's only committed the ultimate, and he said, that fight's lost. I'm going for tower, which means they get first tower, but it doesn't matter. Because this will be feats once this Rift Herald is claimed.
Yeah, interesting. Chukels chooses not to collapse. Fight gets completely turned. Yeah, you traded a 2-for-1 at the end of it. Yeah, you got the Leona, but it cost you kind of a lot and feats with Rift, and it ends up being 2 towers lost.
And it kind of is Trainer's play again. I mean, he didn't do exactly what I said, where he goes for the tower once Swain teleports in, but he essentially went for a reset, said this to his team, delay. I'll come back, trade heavily on Swain. If I die, so be it, but if I don't, Swain used ult, and there's no way A-Forward's teleporting him without ult. Meanwhile, this dude I know is getting a little bit caught. I don't think Lux is saving him this time. The ultimate is pretty nice, though. Ult from Ash as well gets Samurai's flash. And that's a pretty good tool. But surely with all that down. Meanwhile, Trainer also getting jumped on by Corki. There's no barrier that will save you if this R lands. Okay, well, I just don't know how health bars work. He does live. But surely, with all of those used, surely Jolly Rogers will be taking this dragon.
Yeah,
Nice.
they get the Leona. I guess they didn't see the teleport come across.
Oh, Matrix kind of showing Chukles why he shouldn't have teleported in. There's an Mbessa ult as well. No orange to save him, but barrels are pretty good. Flash in, but you're flashing into an Mbessa! That's where she wants you! And unfortunately, Chukles teleports in to get solo killed.
Yeah, it was a bold choice. Had the play won, just need to let Mbessa walk away. Didn't have the cooldowns to kill you until you decided to chase and flash into it. So
And this means that giving up the dragon doesn't feel that bad. So,
yeah, you're okay with
you
it.
know,
Mbessa now
Tactical freeze were-
huge.
right, Tactical Freeze was already going to get that tower top lane. And then Chukles said, you know what, you can get a free GP as well. Buy one, get one free.
Does give Mbessa now an 1100 gold lead up over Chukles on this gangplank. Jungle's pretty much even. We got a bit of a lead there in mid. ADC's pretty even. So that gold all on Mbessa really.
Yeah, and the little, you know, shiny emblem next to their booties, you know? Like, you gotta count that. That's like some kind of gold amount.
The shiny emblem on the boots. I agree.
Right. But this is a very different state than game one, you know? Not only does OSG have those feats, but they also have leads in places they simply didn't have it before, and also they have an easier comp to play. You know, Acord is the one that's trying to tell his team, please play back with me, while Diana is just itching to jump in on anything that moves. And Sapphire's just like, please, I will tornado them. Stay back here, Diana. And meanwhile, Masterum, Ashe, Leona, Graves, and Bessa, they all have the same plan. It's very easy to play that side. Now, also another thing is, this Otacon, what? This Otacon spawn top lane instead of bot lane, and there's also the other one, Samurai, jumping in, as I said before, but a 1v1, it works pretty well. Except now there's a GA that wasn't available in last game. Also, the fight topside, they wanted to see if Otacon was being taken. Surprise, it was. You're dead. And Billy somehow lives from all that from a flash.
Yeah, Crazy Billy ends up somehow being able to walk out of that. But
I mean,
did have
he
the
had
GA
GA
if
as well.
there, yeah. So it wasn't going to die.
But Samurai was just denied 200 sweet, sweet gold. It just feels bad, you know? Like, I don't even get to get denied by Otacon, I get denied by Flash. Oh my god.
Yeah, little rough,
Are they going for a dive right now? It looks like they just went to tower. Minion debuff is gone though, so this dude I know is just taking a lot of damage. You do want to be proactive with this GA. That's a little too proactive though. maybe chill a little bit. Wait for the minion wave. Samurai looking for something, but again, Diana going in was already rough. Whenever they have GAs, it's just so impossible.
Yeah, I think you do have to give this tower over here. I don't think they are able to save this.
Oh, Samurai wants to go in though. The GAs are available. Leona will use Locket instead. They just keep on denying these GAs even. Masterum blocking the ult from Corki. And no one is even fake dying.
Huh. Well, that was just. I'm so baffled watching some of this play here. They're doing such a good job denying the GAs.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they don't know the GAs are available. Like, guys, look at your screen. It's gracious. Obviously, that's not what's happening. It just looks very funny. Oh, the root, though. That person doesn't have a GA. And now, oh man, Masterum flashes out to deny it once again. The tower will also go down. Wait! Not before! Oh my god, One of these people will use GA before the debuff goes down, probably.
I do
It just
believe
hasn't happened yet.
the Voidling spawned in time to remove the tower heated shot for the no minion damage that caused that to... It's the only reason Graves is alive, because that was the second tower shot. So that should have been
Right,
a
that's the
heated.
only reason Graves is, you know, not giving over 200 gold, because to be clear, he would be alive either way.
So now the game
know,
is denying GAs.
And, like, it's the right way to play, don't get me wrong. Giving over 200 gold is not as free as it used to be whenever Otacon first came out. It just looks very funny. Because now you don't have Flux Slash, you don't have great... Or, Masterum has Slash, I think I saw someone else's Slash. Either way, you know, this dragon spawning, this would be soul point. I mean, if you're in such a commanding position, I don't think it matters. So yeah, might as well deny the 200 gold as well.
Yeah, I do like that they were pretty aggressive with it. Diving under the tower while they had it. So that is good to see. It's a nice adaptation. I don't feel teams use that GA quite aggressive enough.
Oh, this is aggressive though. There's no GA on the dude I know, but the enemy team doesn't know that he's alone for a little bit, so he will get to walk away scot-free, especially since Corky and GP are pretty far away. I don't think GP wants to teleport it in for a Leona pick.
So it should be second dragon going over then. Over to OSG.
Yeah, I can't imagine that they want to go in on this fight, right? You've got Janna Corky and you want to go into a dragon pit full of people that are way ahead of you, but A-Court kind of does. And he will find an arrow and a Leona for his trouble, along with the Lux, along with the Leona ult. He cannot move. And he will be sent back to base.
So that is a lot of cooldowns for a Swain.
I mean, might as well, right? Like, you're not going to fight for anything afterwards. Corky's, like, pretending to get this tower, but you clear the minion wave. He has to walk away. Oh, actually, no, they are fighting, because this teleport flank is huge from Mbessa. And Mbessa has ult, that's all you really need. Samurai might jump in on him as well. Janna ult makes him come out as well. So it looks like the fight will be disengaged. But still, that teleport flank was pretty threatening, and Chukels has to... Oh, that's in front of people's faces, but they can't see it. But Chukels just teleported away on your face. Why don't you just start the Baron? It looks like that's what they'll do, because Lux can walk away and teleport into this Baron. GP has used ultimate, has teleported to the bot lane. This Baron is such a huge man advantage for OSG Tactical. Samurai trying to find a way to get in. This dude I know is zoning, but he's zoning alone. And that's a huge amount of health to lose as well. Your man advantage doesn't matter if your Leona dies. We are ulting it to make sure that they get it. But it looked close despite it being a 4v5. Matrix trying to get out, flash it from Samurai, but again, flashing in on the team with Janna Corky's just so hard. So Matrix will be able to walk away, and they have 5 Barons.
Yeah, that was extremely close. I think Lux E ends up popping that. Or it was the Luden's proc that ended up stealing that. Both smites went out. Just a hair off there from Samurai being able to steal that.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because you've got the different dynamics, right? You know that Swain is not available, yet at the same time, whenever Baron's hitting you and you don't have the vision control that you really want, it's hard to set up a 5v4 Baron because Baron's kind of like that 5th member. It's lowering your MR and armor. If your Leona is zoning out someone and isn't able to successfully do it, then suddenly it's a 4v4, plus your armor and MR are gone. But they're able to burst it down. Burst it literally with Billy killing it, not Smite. And it's, you know, all's well that ends well.
And somehow no one died with a 3v4 in the Baron pit, and everybody jumped into the pit. Then...
That's the power of Janna, I guess. And plus Lux, Leona, Ashe. I mean... Just a lot of disengage going on.
That is true. It is a lot of disengage. Trying to get away from an Ashe or follow an Ashe is always very difficult.
Now, Samurai does have an interesting flank. I just don't think it matters because of how behind they are.
That is
Meanwhile,
a lot of
Trainer
damage.
is kind of overly aggressive. I was looking at the mini-map for Diana flank and suddenly Ashe is just almost dead. Maelstrom as well. They'll have to walk away. And sure, they didn't die, but this is important Baron time that they are losing. Oh, Leona ult comes in, gets the stun on Corky. Ashe ult also used, though. And those ultimates being on cooldown is, again, more time for Baron to not be useful.
Yeah, Corky doing a ton of damage with just this Trinity and the Mana Mune. Just, wow, those rockets are doing a ton of damage. Looks like we have a small DC. Oh, we have a power outage.
It looks like more than a small DC because in chat they have said mid has lost power. And unfortunately that's not like a, oh guys, you know, my computer crashed. That's a likely much longer pause. So guess we have some time to chat.
Yeah, that could be just a moment. But do it.
So, as a reminder for pauses, because everything is online, obviously, teams do get the ability to pause, but they only get 10 minutes each for each game. For this sleep, or wait, was that draft? I'm sorry. I know they get 10 minutes.
It's still 10 minutes.
I believe it was changed recently, where it was 10 minutes each for the whole match instead of the game.
It's 10 minutes a game, still.
Okay, gotcha. Either way, that change may be in the works. But with it, obviously, I caught up on delay. So you can see out of the 30 minutes, we've got 26 minutes remaining, and that means in 6 minutes, hopefully A-Court will have figured out the power outage.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out there where this was going, so it looks like the pause had started at around 27:30 rather than at 30 minutes. So I was trying to figure out if that was just spec delay catching up and is like half the reason for the rebuffer, but it's not something I've seen before. So still trying to figure out exactly what happened there. Where we
Either way.
try to reach out from the teams.
Yeah, so, I mean, you gotta talk through the options, right? Hopefully A-Court comes back. If not, I mean, it feels bad, but it doesn't really change that much, right? Like, usually you don't want to say a game is over, but like, whenever your mid laner disconnects and a game is like this, it's like, okay, well, yeah, we'll move on to game 3.
Yeah, I think at that point, you're just buying time for the power to come back on. You stall as
Right,
long
exactly.
as humanly possible in a 5v4. While trying not to wreck your mental.
I feel like, okay, maybe this is just me, but maybe there should be a rules change just because of that, because the idea of like playing out a 4v5 trying to stall for a person feels worse than just saying, you know what, we're going to give benefit of extra time for players that disconnect in the middle of a match. But I don't know.
That is an
If we
interesting
have to
thought
see
process.
that- Yeah, because imagine A-Court's disconnected for 10 minutes. We unpause, and then we have to talk through a losing team basically playing a 4v5, essentially not to win, but to hope that they can buy enough time where their mid laner can come back before game 3. I mean, it just feels bad for everyone involved. At the same time, I respect that the rules are the way that they are, and I'm not sure that like there's an easy, equitable change that helps everyone. Cause it's tough.
Yeah, it
at
is
the
very
same
tough.
time, I mean,
It is a thunderstorm. We did get word from that knocked out the power.
I guess also even if your power doesn't come back, you're kind of buying time to find a sub at
Yes,
the last
yeah.
second.
That now you're reaching out and checking how deep the roster is. If it's a rostered player, they're good. If it's a non-rostered player, then you're looking at an E-sub,
I
and
have
they're
bad
back to
news.
bans.
They only have one sub, and that sub is a mid lane player. So if they're available, it might not be that bad. At the same time, obviously, everyone's hoping A-Court connects. And now tell me, between matches, how long do teams have to figure out this stuff?
Teams
with
can
our
ask
current
for a
rule set?
5-minute break. So it's 5 minutes of break, and then, draft has to start within the following 5. So they have 10 they could push it to.
Okay. And obviously the teams, I mean, usually the teams are allowed to come up with some kind of compromise. I don't know how that works with stream, because obviously we've got different desires than
A
whenever
schedule
the game is played.
to try and keep. Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, I think they're going to just be reaching out to different players who sub, and I believe it likely will be an E-sub unless Void happens to be there. Shout out to Void, if you're watching right now, get on your computer. Because I think they might be calling you in off the bench.
Void, check your Discord PMs. You likely have a message or two from your team. So we should see
The
this
other thing-
kick back up here in another 2 minutes.
Yeah, and of course if A-Court's playing on the laptop or something, maybe they could find a different place to play. There's different options.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, I think for the viewing experience, we're going to see the worst option, which is a losing team try to figure out how to stall as long as possible, and a winning team go from this momentum of I'm playing League of Legends to I'm playing Whack-A-Mole, trying to end a game as soon as possible in order to force a forfeit, which feels bad.
Alright, so we are getting where it is likely going to be a 4v5 and then an E-sub here for game 3. So we'll probably see that unpause come through. And to touch on the if they have a laptop to play somewhere else, I did have a buddy troll me once and play on the airport Wi-Fi while he was traveling.
Woohoo!
Shout out to him for being the most toxic person I've ever met. Please don't do that
Okay,
to your
well,
teammates.
The good news is if they have an E-sub ready, they can kind of warm up that player and take a 5-minute break, so I don't think we're going to see a serious 4v5 here. I don't know if they're allowed to surrender. I imagine that they are, but, you know, It's really up to them. They're well within their rights to play it out. But we're about to see some real something on the Rift.
I mean,
and it's kind of hard to commentate too, because it's different.
I've seen games come back, win 4v5s and larger deficits than this. In comp, probably not, but solo queue, definitely.
Well, I had said this last time that this happened on stream. Okay, well. I don't even know if that's how that works. I guess it is technically. So we're not going to unpause right at 20 minutes. I've been informed in the chat that someone on OSG has taken this time to take a break, which, happens, I guess. So we'll take a little bit longer to pause. It won't be starting right at 20 minutes, but the timer will be ticking against OSG, which I guess is kind of good for Jolly Rogers at the end of the day. But, okay.
Oh, we're in.
Okay, he's back. Never mind. Okay, I just lied, I guess. Okay,
Except for the buffer.
The point is, I was talking about this last time. Well, Billy might get caught here, which is really awkward time. We got a little bit of a spectator delay to catch up on. This is normal. It's kind of hard for the winning team, too. You've got this momentum shift. You're winning the game. And then suddenly, you're in a 5v4. So, you've got to play this out. But it's kind of like... I don't know if you've ever, played against a kid or something at a competitive event or whatever. It's hard to take it seriously. You're just kind of, sitting there I'm not engaged, This is over. And then you gotta lock in for game 3. Samurai coming in for the wave, because right now this is a wave clear simulator and trying to get picks.
Yeah, it's tough.
A mid laner, you're not winning team fights.
Yeah, well, it is tough right now. This is playoffs, so you're not wanting to concede these games, even though if you know what the inevitable is, especially you just now had your top laner solo the mid. It gives you that awkward false sense of hope, or possible sense of hope, that, hey, we might be able to do this if they continue to make mistakes.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing, right? You ever hear of ice the kicker in, football or whatever? For Jolly Rogers, they were already losing, so they aren't getting a new feeling, right? It's okay, we've lost this game. I kind of accepted it before. I said, maybe, but now it's definitely over. But for OSG, they've got this weird game state where the game is won. And now they've got to go through the motions, and then come back to game 3 and lock in, and it's kind of tough. You can see, I mean, I don't even know if that arrow would have done anything. Not to, harp on Trainer, but, you're in a 5v4, so you go for whatever fight you can, and it looks a little sloppy, and I understand it.
Big TP flank here.
Behind. I think it's not real, though, because they're going for the dragon, so... I guess it's to deny the push afterwards with the wave. But again, the plays are not going to be, well thought out, super coordinated macro, because you don't have to. And if you don't have to, your brain does a really good job of just being not about it.
That was a lot of tower damage with that demolish. Mm-hmm. It does look like they have some sort of plan here.
Yeah, I think Chukos is in a really bad spot, finds Matrix, but Matrix kind of awkwardly goes through him thinking that he's going to go in. Samurai finds Trainer, though. And this is another problem if you're AD carry just being mid lane. There's no ability for the front line to get here. And Trainer just dies. And I legitimately don't think that would have happened if A-Court was connected to the game right now.
Yeah, in a 4v5, sometimes players just start playing different. They think the game is either over or free. If the other team hasn't kind of signed on and agreed to this idea, right, you can quickly be shocked. We've now seen 2 kills go over really quick. OSG picked up a dragon, but also lost a tower, almost 2.
Right, and the funniest ending to this is that A-Court's power suddenly comes on. He reconnects, and then it's actually closer than if he was connected the whole time.
Yeah, the gold lead is closing right now, oddly enough. And there is a
which was buffed, but...
XP advantage. Your 4v5.
Samurai flashing in. This is not what you want to see happen whenever you're in a 4v5. You cannot be getting caught in side lane. But Billy right now is trying to get a 1-for-1 and just doesn't get it. And sure, you've got the cross map in Bessa. But at the end of the day, yeah, you could just ARAM, you could just Soul, you could Baron. These side lane pushing things only work if you're really coordinated, and it's hard to be coordinated when, again, it feels like the game's over.
Yeah,
Because Matrix
4v5
is
is a
also
tough.
caught here. Yes, he gets the ult in on Janna, but that's a Janna you're ulting in on. Graves here as well. Teleport coming in. Janna will go down. Teleport behind. GP kind of in an awkward spot. Walsey also going to go down to Mbessa. Chukles is now lost, unfortunately, on the wrong side of the mini wave. But Matrix, I mean, Samurai's finding him. No one's helping him right now. Matrix is just kind of in this 1v1, but it's a 1v1 he can take. Once Graves gets involved as well, it's super clean, and all Chukles can do is wave clear.
Yeah, he's just gonna cut the wave so that they don't have the wave to continue pushing a tower, which is probably one of the most annoying things that could be happening right now. But they will pick up Baron.
Okay, now I've got a rules question for you.
Sure.
I'm just curious. If A Court is out of power, can he watch the stream on his phone? Is that allowed?
Yeah, totally. There's nothing against that. I mean, we're on a
Okay.
spectator delay, 3-minute delay, so none of the information he would have is valuable for players
just
to
funny
be
to me.
watching it.
Right. I don't know, this is a funny idea to me, like watching your Swain sit in the fountain like, please, I'm here in spirit in the game. But Baron has been secured, and that is the best tool for a 5v4 winning the game. Because at this point, you can just ARAM.
Yeah, we
I
should see
believe
that
they
pressure
did-
come out now.
Yeah, I don't expect to see side lanes right now. You don't have teleport on Bessa. Lux has been getting caught on side lane. Just 5-man. Get an arrow, but there's no Mbessa right now. Doesn't matter though, because again, it's still 4v4 if Mbessa's not there.
I think the 4-1 is still fine, just definitely not a 1-3-1 in a 4v5. That's a little
the
sketchy.
4-1 I mean, the 1-3-1, the 4-1 is fine if you're like going to play it seriously, but I think the players have shown that like, you know, they want to just tap it in, and I think that's understandable. That's what I'd be doing too. It's hard to keep focus in a 5v4. But if you're gonna do that, then just ARAM.
ARAMs are
Fortunately-
always an option. We do look like we're going
Right.
to see the 4-1.
But that's fine, because Soul's
Yeah.
spawning soon. It is Chemtech. Chemtech was buffed. Not the strongest Soul though, to be real.
Yeah, everybody still
but-
loves Cloud.
It's totally fine to tap it in over 50 minutes as well, right? Like, they can't fight us a dragon. We'll take tower damage, we'll push waves in, we'll get Soul. Soul will finish the game just as well as taking their inhib as well.
Arrow hits Janna, Valkyrie over the top for Molly.
Yeah, and that tower will go down, giving Matrix a huge gold buff. Ult's in as well. This Jiggly is absolutely dead. And I believe that will be the signal not to get Soul, but to try to put some real pressure on the structures of Jolly Rogers, as they only have 3 members right now. Fortunately, whenever you lose one, it's even worse than normal, because you're already down a player.
Yeah, Matrix here
Well-
showing kind of why that Mbessa has been a very popular ban against him. And why he hasn't been allowed to play it but so much. It is a bit of an issue.
Alright, so they do pick up Soul. I don't really think that changes anything, because other than side lane getting caught out is a little bit harder, because there's less CC. I mean, you're already massively winning team fights, right? It's 5v4. So I guess actually Chemtech Soul is one of the better ones if you think about it. Because they're already winning team fights. I guess Cloud Soul would be the best one. But now it's kind of harder to catch Lux, because she's got CC reduction and damage reduction.
Yeah, at this point, OSG would have to like do something crazy, diving under.
Oh, this is a really
2
nice
towers
ultimate
deep.
on Samurai. Getting this pick will mean mid is in a lot of pressure. In fact, Lux is teleporting in. They really
Yeah, this should
want to
be
crack
end.
the base right now while Baron is available. Yeah, GP can do all the barrels he wants. I think they don't even care about the minions. They will just take the tower. Wave also kind of stacking. We'll be there in about 40 seconds. I mean, they can just pick up this tower too at any time. Leona just tanks it. Trainer decides to let his Leona tank it. Doesn't care at all for his Leona's health. Gets the wave in. And then they'll get the bot inhib, and surely that will mean... I mean, you're now going to stack 2 super waves. Diana's coming up in 13 seconds. I don't think these double Nexus towers can defend, though.
Yeah, I don't think so either. This does seem to be end if they decide to siege it.
I get it, though. You know what? Just recall. Buy your items and make sure. don't want to worry about. You know, it's kind of like competitive gaming is kind of like an exercise, and sometimes taking a break and just tapping it in is good enough whenever you've got a game 3 ahead of you. It's just a question of if you can bring it back for that game 3. So yeah, recall, get all the inhibs, and make it easy on yourself.
Yeah, it's better. You want the win here. You know, you definitely
Now,
want to be sure you secure it, not do anything crazy.
to be clear to the viewers, after this game ends, we'd like to have a 5-minute break as well. Just setting up that expectation. A
Uh,
little bit longer than usual between games.
I don't think we will, but it's possible.
That's fair. I don't know.
From
I
what I'm
imagine
hearing
that
in the
players would
background.
wanna... Okay, good. I mean, I imagine that, like, if you got an E-sub, like, hey, let's take 5 minutes to tell you what the hell we're doing, but I get it. Again, you've kind of iced the enemy team, putting them in a situation where they're literally just playing, like, you know, it's kind of like making someone play co-op versus AI, and then they've got to play ranked. Not that, like, Jolly Rogers is AI, but, like, it's a completely different level of focus and control and discipline. Right now, they clearly don't have to have any, and I don't think that many players would. And they've got to lock in for game 3, which I know I'm repeating myself at this point, but I guess I could talk about the minions hitting the tower and then going back, and then Seepers coming in. Are they gonna go for the Baron?
It does look like they're gonna wait for the Baron, the Death Push, and then look to grab Baron and end here. They don't feel
Okay,
confident
well,
enough quite yet to go for it with an 11k gold lead. They want the Baron to secure it.
maybe they're just being really nice. Like, hey, we'll give you as much time as possible without looking like completely like we're not taking this seriously to get your power back on for your mid laner.
Well, they are still
Um,
respectfully playing it like they have 5.
right, exactly. And this face check is going to go very poorly, and Bessa ult finds on to Chukles. That 1v4 is kind of tough for Matrix, but not nearly as hard as Samurai's 1v4, because he is going down, and Matrix was able to get out. There's an orange available, so Chukles will be able to walk away, but not from this stun. He will go down, and I don't think they're going to wait for the Baron now, because those supers are already hitting the Nexus towers, and, you know, you got a Janna. That Janna's not protecting the base.
Yeah, this should now be end here. They did fairly well in that team fight for a 4v5.
Sure.
You know, there was a lot of damage went out. But that will be 1-1, bringing us to the game 3.
Okay, now for the teams, I think it's very important that they really treat that like that game ended at 20 minutes because, you know, for draft reasons, yes, the gold lead was immense. But at the same time, like if Swain was still there, I'm not entirely sure that that's an easy victory for OSG. So maybe they need to go to the draft board and say we're on the defensive, even though they won the game. I mean, maybe they don't have to. I mean, they definitely had an early game control, and Bessa was a great pick. And also, of course, with the E-sub, we're going back to 1 ban for JR. So,
Yes, that
I mean, I don't
is
know.
correct. But
Because,
they won with the 1 ban. But they have
right,
1
they did
ban
win with the
and
1
side
ban.
select.
So, they will be taking the 5 minutes between games, is what I am seeing. And so I have a lot of things to talk about draft, but I kind of want to do it closer whenever draft
Yep,
starts.
let's go ahead and take our
So
break
let's,
while they
yeah, let's
set
take a
up.
break. And then we will get a game 3 of 5 players versus 5 players. I promise that is very likely. And that will be playoffs.
Look, there's my home, there's my wall. See, it's the flower, mine is lost.
Okay, welcome back to draft number 3. And yep, we're gonna see one last ban, and we've got a sub, which will be an E sub. Buckby has joined for JRBP, and they're not doing any other rotation. Sometimes you see a sub come in for one role, and then they're like trying to move the rest of the team. But nope, Buckby plays mid right now, so we're good there. Obviously the teams have also scouted him.
Draft does start.
And it is
Same
it is
sides
in
for
game. So
all
we're
3
good.
games.
That's correct, yeah, just a slight difference in bands. Except I think we're going to see the same bands as Game 1, because...
Yes,
I mean, you
Sapphire
might
is
see a
still
Jin
the
ban.
focus.
You might see a Jin ban for Jolly Rancher. Did I say Jolly Roger? Oh gosh, I'm sorry guys. I need to lock in for Game 3. Either way, yes, same 3 bands so far. I don't think it's going to change. It's been the same 3 bands every game. They won last game, and even with, extenuating circumstances, they did win that game, even before the 4v5.
Well, if you're
So-
Jolly Rogers here, you won game 1 and you had the 2 the 2 penalty.
That's not Ivern ban.
So, are
That
you
is a
like
champion...
on your power play here now that you're back to your 2 ban loss?
I mean, you might just ban Jen, get trainer. It looked like he was not that comfortable on the Ashe. He did fine. But he was not ahead like he was on the Jen.
And I think the Mbessa is
But
more
banning
the
the
problem.
Yeah, I appreciate that as well. If you want to keep playing the Gangplank, then banning what their ability to counter it was makes sense. But this is
So they take the
interesting
Galio.
adaptation, because OSG had the ability to pick Jin here. They felt like denying Galio was more important.
They're gonna stick with this quirky ADC and
Yeah, now Bucky
expect
might
it
play
back
it,
into the
to be
Jin.
clear. Right.
Yeah, true. I have not gotten to look at Buckby's champ pool.
It doesn't look like Quirky's on there, but again, sometimes players play different things in solo queue than they'll play in comp. Especially if they scrim. I mean, I guess Buckby probably hasn't scrimmed with this team much, so I doubt that there's practice. But they play a lot of AD carry as well as mid lane, so it wouldn't be surprising to me.
And
And
Diana
that is
back.
the third, Diana Samurai game. Now, I imagine that this time they're going to draft around diving with the Diana, because it felt like Samurai just didn't have any buddies last game, and it really showed.
Yeah, Diana does need a friend to go with. Maybe we see the Yas come out. That would be spotty. Does Buckby play the
you know-
Yas?
For Buckby, I'm kind of expecting an Aurora, honestly, because they've banned away one of the top counters in Bessa. And you could just take one away right now and have the ability to play well with the Diana. But expecting that OSG takes it first. And this means GP's really hard to pick here.
Yeah, we see pretty good draft change up here just from the use of coming in. And they now snipe the Aurora, which has been banned the last 2 games.
But I imagine this means GP's not really on the table, so bans are kind of interesting. Again, Jen made it through the first 3, so it won't make it to the last 2. But, I mean, what do you ban here for OSG? I don't think you're going to find whatever top laner Chukos wants to play, because it looks like they don't even want to play the GP, despite having the Aurora that I guess JR thought was going to be the counter. So that will be one of the bans.
Yeah, it does give way for the Jin ban. Force trainer back onto something he's less comfortable on. And
if
now
he was
twice.
uncomfortable on the Ashe, make him even more uncomfortable and making him go to his 3rd champion, especially whenever you've already got the Galio, showing you kind of want to switch to a hyper carry anyways. But that could be your Aurora, so now you're going to see Trainer in a really interesting spot.
Rumble.
That is not a Gangplank, but that's a Rumble.
Rumble
But I'm
versus Aurora
noticing-
top?
There's something interesting brewing if this actually gets picked, because it is. Right now you've got Diana Rumble on the top side of the map, and what is it against? Oh, Galio. So, your mid laner has got to be AD, or that Corky Flex.
Yeah, that is a really good point. And Kaisa coming out.
It's kind of brewing on the other side as well, because Graves is the only AD damage for OSG. Now, Graves is a lot of physical damage, so it's okay. I mean, Kaisa as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm just like, okay, look, I tend to think of Kaisa as purely magic damage. She's not. She's got great physical damage qualities. I
Does
really like
she?
hitting those W's, but
AP
But
Kai'Sa
you-
is definitely the way to go.
but you've got to pick an AD threat, and it will be the Misfortune, which means I believe the Issa Buckby is taking that quirky mid. I mean, you could arguably play Misfortune in Galio. You can kind of bully him and then just never, ever, ever be in EW range. Especially since Graves doesn't bring CC, so maybe you can make it work. But I imagine it's quirky mid.
Yeah, that has to be
And
Quirky
that-
Mid coming out here.
And that means you've got Misfortune Rel against Leona Kaisa, which feels pretty good, I think.
Yeah, it depends on a lot of pressure on the MF to avoid hitting the ult before Leona has ulted. Or
Right.
that just feels even worse.
But it is kind of interesting. I do like that Diana has a lot of buddies. I do like that we flexed the quirky mid, even if it took a different mid laner to do it. But it kind of shows for the remainder of playoffs that you're willing to not play AD carry. And I do like that we've also kind of forced OSG into what they've done. Like, I feel like OSG has adapted well, but it was also very much kind of like the next logical step, right? We're going to take Galio B1 because they can't play it. We're going to take Aurora because they weren't allowed to ban it. There's a world where JR knew this was happening, and this is what they decided to play against it.
Yeah, it's definitely a good draft from both sides. I like the back and forth with the bans and the picks. There's a lot of like mind games going on during this draft. The flex pick, we saw the quirky twice bot. Yeah, you see it, boom, R1 picked, and ends up it's a flex.
Alright, now, we will see exactly where everything goes. I think OSG is pretty clear. Yeah, it's the Aurora top lane, Galio mid. And then we'll have to see mid lane. Again, I mean, I would never say that Misfortune normally goes mid, but I guess there's a world where Aurora could also go mid, and then you really wouldn't want to play Misfortune, but we'll just make sure the Buckbee's not cooking up something really spicy. No, will be the quirky mid. Oh, wait,
Right?
hovered
They
both.
hover.
Okay, stop
we're
it.
being
Stop
trolled.
it. Lock it in. Okay, Corky has been locked in. So we'll be the Corky mid. Which again, I think was a good adaptation. Kind of a little draft trap where you're like, oh, this is a flex, and they go, okay, we're calling it. You're never sending that Corky mid, and then game 3 you do send it mid.
Yeah, this is definitely a spicy draft. Game 3, round 1 of playoffs. You definitely you don't want to take this loss and end up in the losers bracket and have to go down with that. You need this win, so we're seeing very nice adaptations here from both teams.
Yeah, but also pay attention to the state of mind of all these players. Again, 9 of these players just played a really annoying, like a 10-minute pause and then a 45, and one of these players possibly was just like, chilling out, doing some homework, and then got called up like, hey, play this competitive game that determines the rest of our playoffs, please.
Hey,
Thank you.
it is your time to shine. You've been called up.
And also, we want to flex Corky. Do you play it?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but it's a tough situation for all 10 players. It's just unique for each one,
Yeah,
Either way.
I like it. This is gonna be exciting.
Yeah, it will be exciting after a quick break. And then we will get into the final game of the night, Game 3. Blue side, OSG once again versus JR, but this time the mid lane's going to be a little bit different after a quick break. Hello, welcome to the Rift for the final time of OSG Tactical Freeze versus Jolly Rogers Black Pearl with one little addition, and I kind of like this. Your level 1 worked last time, and additionally, I mean, how do you even explain a level 1 strat that like that in depth to a sub? Just tell them to 5-point, and if that happens, maybe you get a pick again. But once again, they're making a similar mistake where Aurora's the first one to go, and once Aurora spots someone, what's she gonna do? Hit him with Q and then walk away? So it looks like that will be what happens. I guess you don't really have that much easy CC either. This dude I know could flash Q on someone, but depending on who it is, it's kind of sus. So, you know, maybe just figuring out what's going on is pretty easy. But this does mean that Corky and Rel have gone in for a ward on Raptors. Now, it looks like it was spotted out, so both teams will know what's up. Either way, here we are top lane with a third interesting matchup of the night. This one a little bit more standard, but still, you know, pretty volatile.
All right, Electrocute getting some work done early.
Yeah, that's a nice rune for sure. Now, I noticed that the lane is kind of an interesting spot mid lane. There's two kind of ways to play that ranged into melee matchup mid. You can get the push early, or you can kind of bait them into pushing and then match it and then beat them because you're ranged. Looks like Buckby has gotten a nice little start where I believe he's going to get level 2 early and already has a health trade down. So once he gets level 2, he could have some real pressure. Jungler's on the same side, but it's the opposite side of the previous 2 games. Because I guess this top lane's a little bit easier for both of them to gank.
Yeah, JR is about to head again, level 2 advantage first. All 3 games now.
Yep. And this time they do the trade pretty well. This dude I know a little bit chunked and trainer gained full health, but not able to contribute. Because Sapphire and Walsey are also full health. I guess Walsey's missing like 90 health, I guess. So, you know, a few auto attacks and he'll be fine.
So, and
The
aggressive
thing could
trades
not
from
be said
top.
lane. Mm-hmm.
Nothing has changed. Just aggression out of both of them.
No, something has changed. That's the exciting part, right? So you've got aggressive trades, yes, but this time junglers are also both pathing towards it, so this matters a lot more than it used to, and it used to matter a lot. I imagine we will not see the teleport in get solo kill for, I believe, like the 3rd game in a row or something. But junglers are going to make that lane very exciting very soon.
Yeah,
As you can
almost
see,
able to
Diana's
proc
quite
the
a bit
double
ahead,
tap.
too.
Yeah, camp
This is a
ahead on
nice
Diana.
control from bot lane. Sapphire getting in a nice engage on Trainer. Leona coming in for the counter engage. Ignite coming out. Barrier for both. 80 carries. Flash out from Trainer. But Walsey has to get away from Leona because that Leona is almost lethal. Now Sapphire picking up her flash. No, that's wrong. Sorry. Sapphire picking up Leona's flash. Meanwhile, top lane, like I said, the junglers, Diana was ahead of Graves. So she skips the crab just to make Matrix flash. But now Graves is here. And I believe that means that Chukles is trading a little bit aggressively with those junglers there. I don't know, man. Graves is not even willing to go for Crab, though, because of the position of Aurora. It's too precious to him. I think he's on it now. Matrix has no mana as well. So even though this health bar looks very advantageous, if Diana comes again, it's a little bit awkward.
Yeah, there's no flash to save Matrix there if this goes.
Right, Diana spots Graves, I believe. That's why the backwards recall stopped. I could be wrong. And now Graves' turn to recall. So at the end of the day, we're just going to see it all fizzle out to resets for everyone.
And Graves is ahead because he got the crab. With the tempo. So we'll be
Right,
now
but
bot side first.
But it does mean that Chukles does inherit a kind of nice lane position where he's got flash advantage and he gets to get this push out. Aurora's just walking back to lane. I don't know if he crashes that wave, though. Looks a little close. I think it does crash, so yeah. Chukles will be able to also walk back to lane, have a nicer recall, and a little bit of an experience lead.
Yeah, and we'll end up getting the crab down bot side there for Samurai. So things should more or less even out for the junglers.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Especially since Diana doesn't mind backing with a little bit less gold, because Diana jungle doesn't care once she gets that faded ashes. Camps are so much easier now. Interesting, Leona Rome trying to time a little bit early for the grubs to get mid prio. But this means Trainer's just kind of left alone. It's a lot harder to CS under tower whenever you're on someone like Kaisa. Yes, she has more ability to last hit under tower, but that's only if she can walk up to the minions.
It is a little tough. It looks like Dragon's going to be started here.
Yeah, and you know what? If the enemy team's willing to give you this trade, I think you take it. Grubs have been nerfed, and also games have been going long. You know, 6 grubs is definitely very powerful, but consistently they have been able to fight back for 1 to 2 grubs on the second grubs. And consistently they've been able to start stacking dragons off of this early dragon trade, so if your bot lane consistently wins, and your enemy team keeps on going for grubs with the Leona roam, or not Leona every time, but it was the last 2 times, and you get to put Trainer even more behind while Leona's roaming, go for it.
Yeah, I do like it. They definitely team's prio is very obvious. OSG prios these grubs. We've gotten grubs first every game, and Jolly Rogers prios these dragons. So first dragon every game. So also got no.
Oh, but Choco's actually
Almost
finds Materium and is able to just kind of walk through him. Billy is here though. This is just such an awkward place to be. Buckby's like, I'm just an E-sub. I don't know about that one. You know, maybe if I knew you, I'm not going for that play otherwise, because that looks really cursed.
Yeah, awkward for Chukles to walk down river knowing Grubs was being done. With Diana and Buckby not really in the area to be able to respond.
I think the idea was, I'm gonna ult a grub and try to steal it because maybe Master smited a different one and doesn't have it up. Unfortunately, the idea kind of escalated to like, wait, he's low, I'm gonna ult him. And then it escalated to, oh, there's a lot of people here, I'm dead. And you know, it's like these like, you know, stairs of ideas that start with good intentions and then escalate really quickly to a place that you would never have gone to from the beginning. You never was gonna go, I'm gonna fight Graves and kill him. But it just looks so free.
It
Trainer
was
hits
slightly
6 first in
awkward.
this lane. Because support roam so much. And that means there's a really nice timer for Leona to go in. I don't think Walsey's expecting it because he gets 6 as well! Sees his own XP bar. And is totally fine with it. We'll get this wave crash as well.
Yeah, must have gotten some extra additional XP there while Rel was helping with Dragon, so may have gotten a couple minions to equalize that XP gain.
Mm-hmm. And again, because Dragon was taken first, we are going to see Grubs and oh! Just canceling Walsey's back here is pretty important. Rel is a little far behind, but there's also a Diana here, flash and ult in. Also, there's a Galio ult, but it's into the MF channel. So Trainer will go down first. The dude I know also running with no flash, or has flash, but oh, barely dodges the Q. Flash in from MF. The damage is not enough with the shield though. Billy flashing as well. There's so many flashes. Barrier also found to protect Walsey, who is on 1 health but will live while picking up a kill with Buckby on Leona. And even though Galio was able to ult in and make a man advantage, it just doesn't work out. Masterum also in a little bit of trouble here. I don't think that taunt goes anywhere. Doesn't even want to get it. And it's just the benefit of Samurai being fair first, and this dude I know over eager to try to find a pick on someone recalling.
Yeah, it ends up actually being a 2-for-0 in favor of Jolly Rogers off that kind of failed pick. Good idea. Just unfortunate that they didn't know Samurai was happened to being in that area.
I get it, because Galio can always come first, so even if Samurai's there, as long as you play it correctly, Galio will be there before Corki can, so it would be at least even. And if you happen to get lucky and Samurai's not there, you already know Rel's not there, because MS were calling in a weird spot. You might just get lucky and get a kill. Unfortunately for them, they just aren't able to get out of the Misfortune ult, and that will change the fight no matter what the numbers advantage is.
Yeah, it looked like the chain CC didn't quite land from this dude I know, from the EQ into the ult. Wally had a moment to where he was able to flash it and get that ult down.
Right, and at the end of the day, what this means is that Misfortune is absolutely going to have a massive advantage. Right now it's just BF Sword, which feels like a big advantage for AD carries, but once that Bloodthirster is complete, the lane is going to completely change.
Yeah, having that BF sword pretty early like this is rough, probably more on MF than anyone other than, like, say, a Draven, because of the passive and the way double tap works with the auto crit off a minion kill. It
Right,
can
and this time
really
you can
hurt.
see Dragon and Grubs responding in similar time frames, 30 seconds, but both teams are committing everything. And this leaves Kaisa in an awkward situation where she's got to 1v1 a really fed MF.
You can't really walk up here if you're a trainer. You do have the ult, so you have some outplay ability, but you'd have to play this perfectly.
Yeah, the nice thing is that whilst he can never ult Trainer whenever Trainer has ult ability available, the not so nice thing is that these Grubs are not going to be contested. Right? You're just too far ahead on the top side, just from that bot lane play and everything else going on. So I believe it'll just be even Grubs. Misfortune even moved up to mid lane, so they really want these, and I respect that. Making sure the void lanes don't spawn is good enough, and with just Misfortune moving this late, sure, Kaisa might get a plate, but you're not giving up Dragon.
Yeah, it looked. I did see the pings. Like, it looked like they wanted to immediately go into that second Drake. It looks like they're gonna hold for the moment.
Wait, might be a play on Buckby, though. He's walking a little bit too close to this taunt with Graves available. Rel is also here, though. Dash away, dash in. Graves is just not going to survive. Ignite ticks down. The horse lady tries to kill him, does get the kill and the feat of warfare. And that means Dragon is absolutely on the table.
Yeah, final tick of Ignite. Really well done from Sapphire to secure that Graves. Once again, that pink not quite in position to get that back ward.
I guess it doesn't matter who's playing Corki. If they try to engage on a mid lane and he's got too many tools, it's going to end the same way. Game 1 or Game 3.
Yeah, Valkyrie is a strong ability. It's kind of like an Ezreal. Just gets to walk away.
And Galio doesn't really work whenever there's just so much mobility on the people trying to kill whatever you're protecting. Corki can just Valkyrie out, and Rel can just horse person in. I don't know how to say that. That's the wrong word. Charge in. Either way.
Horse person in.
That's a dead. That's a dead Graves.
I like it. We'll say.
I know. It would make sense for Hecarim, not so much Rel. She's not really. I mean, you might call her like a horse girl, like that archetype of person, but I don't think it's really accurate. More like a knight.
Like a centaur?
Like, you know, like the girls that grow up on ranches and have like horses or whatever. It's just a trope.
Equestrians?
Rel's not one of those. She has a much more deeply
So
complex lore
confused.
than a.
Horse girl. Perfect. Let's go with that. I like it. Fantastic. We are seeing Chukles here.
Chukles
Like
getting a really nice trade because that's an overheated cube just taking everything. However, it will stop when the tower comes in. Flash out from Trainer, still has ultimate available, so this dude I know could engage if he finds something, but I just don't think it's happening. So this dude I know will also have to flash out, and you know, despite having the sub, Black Pearl is just completely roared back for Game 3.
Yeah, I don't think we
Rumble, flash in, Matrix does have flash, but Graves, I don't know, he can flash out, Diana will go in again, and that's just 2 kills under tower for Samurai.
Yeah, kind of free. And we're seeing advantages all across the board here for Jolly Rogers. Top lane CS has never been close in the past 2 games. And here Chukles has basically got it even.
Oh, this is another dive as well. Leona is really far away, has ultimate available though, gets onto Sapphire. Trainer will go down, there's no mana on this MF. Barrier will not protect her for long. It will ensure that Leona has to take the kill though. And that means that even though they do get to for that tower dive, Kaisa gets denied the entire wave, and Leona is the one that gets the 186 gold shutdown.
Yeah, Kaisa was able to pick up one of those kills, it looks like, but it's always a problem when you dive.
Okay, this time surely Corki is not going to be saved by the cavalry, but there's just not enough damage from Billy, so he is able to walk away.
Diving a Leona is always tough, because there is so much CC, and he did tower shots this early. Really hurt.
For sure, especially whenever you're a squishy MF that has, yes, a bloodthirster, but if you're not auto-attacking because you're stunned, you're not healing. Chukles, hit that flower. Chukles. Chukles?
Nope, we like flowers. Flowers, lives matter.
Guess Chukles is an environmentalist.
Big Zyra flan.
Right, exactly. Maybe because of the Zyra game 1, he's just worried it'll start hitting him. Like, get away! Chukos?
There you go.
Okay, I think you got it. Whew. I feel so much better now. I don't know, ever since the flower show, Bucky
Trainer in
dashing
trouble.
in, gets some really nice damage. This is not a bot lane Corki, this is a Corki that's up 2 levels on you. Samurai is also here. This is a dead Kaisa, you have to imagine. Who will it go to, though? Galio might save enough! Trainer is on 1 health, dies to the smite damage over time. Taunt coming in on Samurai, he doesn't care, he's still going in with a teleport to boot. If this ult hits, that will be a kill for Buckby. And Chukos is here to make sure this tower will go down even if the other health bars aren't that amazing.
Yeah, crazy kind of combo play here, as it looks like first tower is going to actually be the mid. Then the other is...
I mean...
It's another 2 for nothing.
Yeah, and this is the first time they've gotten feats on the red side. Billy is in a lot of trouble, will taunt but take an entire bullet time. And an entire rumble Q to the face.
Yeah, so we are only 16:30 in, and we have a 5k, a little more than 5k gold advantage over here for Jolly Rogers.
Yeah, it's the first time Jolly Rogers has gotten feats of strength. And they've also got leads everywhere, and they're going to start stacking dragons because this is the 3rd dragon spawning. Now, Samurai is top lane, but I just don't think that it's the time for OSG Tactical to go in and try to sneak that dragon.
Yeah, it would be very dangerous with the gold lead. MF is doing a ton of damage. Corky's big right now. Already has the items.
Walsey does have no mana. So there is a window where you know Misfortune is recalling. I mean, I don't know, though, because Graves is on the wrong side of the map. But Walsey has not recalled yet. He wants the minions.
Yeah, I think
And
this is actually
Samurai?
perfectly okay to give this Drake if you were making the play on Rift for it. But it doesn't look like they're making the play for Rift Herald either.
Walsey is not recalled yet. He just says, I don't need mana, my ult's on cooldown anyways.
Just
But
building that CS lead.
This does entice everyone on OSG to start grouping for this dragon. I don't think they normally would do this. The unfortunate thing is, though, now that Misfortune is recalling, you have to do it quickly or kill the Corki quickly, and they're not decisive enough. Now they go for Buckby, but that's a tower there, so it's just not really a real play.
Yeah, this is going to be a very awkward 3v3 that I don't think they win.
For sure, especially since now Walsey's coming back. Misfortune W means that to all fights, Misfortune can appear. Now this is a fight you might win. The ultimate comes out straight onto Aurora, has no ability to get out, flashes ease away, but the Q is just ticking for so much. Tukles is going to do so much damage. And without that top laner alive, it doesn't matter that you have teleport advantage. Surely this will be the 3rd dragon for Jolly Rogers.
Yeah, a little bit of revenge for Tukles there after that game 2 where Matrix kind of punished him on that Mbessa.
It did look pretty painful to play against that Mbessa, but ban it away, let him have the Aurora, and just pick the Rumble.
Yeah, that matchup does seem to be working out great, and it is slowly starting to get out of hand for OSG.
And it does feel like this was almost planned from the draft from the beginning. I mean, you had the counter to Aurora that you baited by using an E-sub so you couldn't have bans. And then you left open the Galio, so they took it, and then you flexed the Corki mid that you've been taking bot lane all game. That seems like a great matchup.
Yeah.
And you also get to counterpick bot lane.
Oh, Sapphire
And
almost lands
every
the
lane
stun.
has essentially won their lane because of, I mean, obviously there was also, you know, playing the lane out itself, but the picks have shown their power, for sure.
Yeah, like the Jolly Rogers have played this game extremely clean. This is the cleanest we've seen them play in this series yet, and possibly in across all of their games here in Arbiter. Like, this has been almost textbook.
Maybe
with how
Buckby
well it's
came
going.
in and was just like, actually, you know, I'm only gold in solo queue, but I know how to draft and I know how to shot call a coordinated game really well. So I'll just listen to me, and he just came in and was like, do this, come here, ward here, and then they're just, I don't know, it is rare to see a team play this well around objectives in team fights with an E-sub, especially in a pivotal role like mid lane.
Yeah, has blended right into the team, and there's I agree. Like normally you see that kind of delay or hesitations when you do have an E-sub having to come in, especially game 3 playoff game. No pressure. And just he's playing a very clean game, not taking the over risks, not trying to be the hero. You win your lane, you roam when you need to roam, and you're at the plays. It's a very impressive game here out of Buckby.
So, we gotta talk about this soul spawning in 3 minutes, because, you know, you can give up a lot for OSG, and they even gave up the Swift Herald and then got it gifted to
They're
them right
getting
in their
Otacon.
faces? Question mark? Okay, I see. Never mind. I wasn't looking at the mini-map. Sorry, I was thinking too much. Yeah, using the Rift Herald to make sure they get Otacon. I feel like that was never contested anyways, but make sure you're not throwing an Otacon. Galio can face check. Wait, are we throwing an Otacon? Because it's really low right now. Jungler is coming in. Red team still gets it, which means the GAs are available. But it's not really worth to get Otacon if you give over a shutdown and the free 200 gold. Plus, if you think about it, they kind of gave over the Rift Herald XP as well. I mean, it's not, like, completely disastrous throw at Otacon, they get it, but it's not amazing either.
Yeah, Buckby now in trouble. He's gonna have to figure out a way out of this.
Flash is out. I'm kind of interested in him using the Flash whenever he does have the GA available, but he wants to save it. I guess they're still looking to make a play. It's just, what is going to be up for this GA timer that's worth using your Flash for? Or does he just really want to stop them from getting 200 gold?
So the shutdown went over because the buff was not quite on Chukles yet. Sadly, Otacon fight went on a little bit longer than they would have wanted, and that Magic Resist shred from Otacon, Galio's Q just devastated what was left of Chukles' health bar.
Yeah, so, I don't know, yeah, they got a shutdown on Chukles, and then they also got Corky's Flash despite it only being 200 gold, so... You know, I was about to say that this, in 3 minutes, Soul was going to be so hard because there's Otacon on the opposite side of the map. You're so far behind. Your Kaisa hasn't gotten any power spikes, but it suddenly got a little bit more doable.
Yeah, you did get the Corky's Flash, but you did fail a 4v1 gank. So, on the two of those sides, I'm not sure which one you want to be on. Like, you escaped a 4v1, but it cost you your Flash. You still feel kind of good about that.
Either way, 49 seconds and Soul spawning. I just can't imagine anyone going to be giving over an MF with Infinity Edge Bloodthirster and Infernal Soul. That's just, you know, Press FF now, right? Like, surely OSG will be fighting this.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough to fight. Corky, the only one without teleport. Both of OSG's TPs are up. So, if they do get the death push kill here, you would assume they don't fight the dragon.
Oh, this is an interesting face check. It doesn't really work out that well, I think. Leona is getting chased. There's no Galio ult yet, so they will get up that kill. I do think it was a bit risky. I know they have GAs, but...
Yeah, Chukle burns the TP fairly early just to secure it. And for OSG, I'm not sure how you contest. Maybe you send Matrim in for a suicide. You know, you dash over the wall and you try and get that smite steal, but I don't think you send anyone else on this at all.
I don't even know if you can get vision to try to steal. I guess Kaisa can throw a W, and then you try to steal, but they make the right choice, which is the worst feeling choice. Again, giving over Quirky Misfortune, that Infernal Soul. And Rumble ult will also chase them away from the push. Get out of here. Our lane.
Alright. That's, we call those zoning ults.
And then just a little bit of lag. Not a power outage this time, as far as I'm aware.
So there was a short pause, and that's what that small delay was.
Right, so getting back into it. No power outages yet, fingers crossed.
Spectator is a perfect client. Riot did an amazing job with it.
At the same time, you know, if you're OSG, what are you hoping for other than a power outage, number 2? Because
stall.
This game just became so hard.
They really have to stall. They need Kaisa to come online. You need that Graves to come online, that Aurora. You are down so far right now. Everything you have to do right now is to stall this game out. They need another 10, maybe 15 minutes before they can start looking to fight. If they can hold on.
Did you get one objective bounty bot lane? Baron has not been claimed yet. They do have some nice tools with Leona ult and Kaisa ult, maybe getting a pick on someone. Galio ult also trying to protect someone, but this Infernal Soul, like, it's got... Oh, this dude I know, once again, getting picked off here. I don't think they're gonna go for it, though. Because once Rel uses the engage, there's not much that you really want to chase the Leona with. But
yeah.
Chasing Leona out of that bush will mean that there's no evasion for this Baron pit. And that makes it real easy to convince someone to start Baron.
Yeah, it's gonna be very tough to come in because they're gonna have to
Or
face
make
check
them
this.
face check. Right, but Matrix is a really nice face checker, right? Just wait till Rel commits Q, you W away, you're fine. But once someone else face checks, they will go down. And this time it's the Graves and the Leona. Flash in as well. Leona's kind of nice. It's not enough, though.
Yeah, and if you're on Jolly Rogers here, this is what you want to see. You keep setting up this play, it will eventually work because of the vision, and you just keep stepping on the gas. You accelerate this game as fast as you can. Do not let OSG back into this game.
Right. You don't want to fall into the trap of trying to tap it in like you literally can in a 4v5, but it's as close as you can with all 10 players connected. Quirky going to teleport out so that way there's no shutdown going over.
Yeah.
And now they can just kind of do whatever they want with this Baron buff.
Great heads up play from Buckby to see that play develop and the TP out. That's not a solo queue play. That's hard to teach even in comp to get players to realize that that's an option.
So now we see some nice split pushing because they committed a lot for the Corki. You'll get this top tower. That's so much gold over to these two players. Not that they needed it. They're already well ahead of their lane opponents. And it's really just about, are we going to end before Elder spawns, or are we just going to take a nice little smolder passive?
Yeah, it would be a very, very early Elder. Another 2 minutes. We're going to have Elder before 30 minutes pops up. And just looking across here at the gold, it's across every lane. Big advantages here for Jolly Rogers.
Yeah, Leona's level 9. There are a lot of people that are almost double Leona's level. It's really disgusting. Obviously support levels aren't like that real, but it's just like highlighting how far behind OSG really are in resources.
Yeah, well, they're just being choked out from everything. You see the Jolly Rogers constantly moving this vision
Okay,
up.
Rel
looking
messes
for
up
these
the engage.
picks.
This is your opportunity to get back in because Leona can come in with Kaisa and Galio. Galio ult isn't committed yet though, and MF ult is! That will be 2 kills. Galio just wasn't in range. I didn't even see it on my map. It looked like the play makes sense if you can get the Galio ult to engage there because then you're not as worried about MF ult. Oh my goodness, the Infernal Soul damage is disgusting. But if that's not available, you're just gonna die.
Yeah, Galio just too far away. Maybe needed to TP into that fight rather than trying to walk to it. But I don't think he expected the damage this early, that level of burst. But they're so far ahead. Yeah, that's a 3-item MF.
I respect it, you know, take it into your own hands. You're against Infernal Soul. You're gonna have to go for some kind of miracle play. Maybe they think Galio ult's coming and they don't MF ult and you get a pick. Maybe they somehow don't kill you in time and Galio does get there.
You're completely right.
It just doesn't work that way.
That's really OSG's only way into this game is to make a risky play and hope it works. Like if they just try and hang on, you're playing to lose at that point. You don't win these games at this point by not making some sort of play and just sheer luck of having it work.
Now, I kind of find this interesting because stalling told Elder, yes, you have 2 inhibs down, but I don't know. It feels like it's a really awkward way to kind of give OSG a real chance into this game. I mean, Elder, I don't know. There's so many structures up. Even if they got Elder, you just sit it out and, you know, the series takes a little bit longer. You're not really throwing the game yet.
Well, they don't want to start Elder. They just sit around and wait for them to either get face check in, you get a pick.
This is a face check. Leona's caught. Galio ult does come out. It's just not enough though with Infernal Soul. Surely, there they go. MF ult also picks off the Galio and the Leona and Matrix. Buckby coming in for that kill. Oh, flash out from Aurora. I just don't think it matters. Kaisa's gonna try to catch the wave, but there's a mid wave available, so she can't even afford that luxury. So I believe all signs point to this being the game-ending push.
Yeah, this should be end here. Good play, good patience by Jolly Rogers here to wait that out. You know, the other team can't give up Elder. They have to come into that face check.
And yeah, that will be, even with the E-sub, even with their mid laner disconnecting, Kaisa goes down, by the way. That will be... Oh, Matrix also taking just insane amounts of damage from that Infernal Soul. That dude I know trying to up the score, but that will be the series for Jolly Rogers as they punch their ticket to the top 4 and to best of 5 land.
Yeah, really well done from Jolly Rogers. Come out swinging. Good amount of adversity coming in. You haven't won a game. Yeah, forget not winning a match. You haven't won a game walking into the series to just turn everything around and start that playoff run. You know, if you're gonna make that championship run, it starts here. Nothing else. Regular season basically doesn't matter. It matters everything you do from this point on, and this is a great foot forward for them.
Yeah, right now there is no difference between Jolly Rogers and the first place team in the playoffs, except for who they play against, basically. They're playing against TD Harmony, which I believe are first place.
Yes.
If I look at the... Yeah, so if they beat TD Harmony, they're basically first place, because that's how seeding works. Not like they're the best team, but like because of the way the bracket's seeded, first is playing against last in the upper bracket. So if they win, they basically subsume first place's spot. So yeah, that's really important for Jolly Rogers. Hopefully they figure out their, I mean, I guess you can't really weatherproof your house. That's a little, unfortunately, not where we're at, you know. Please, can our mid laner get a power generator? No, I don't think that's in the budget. But still, hopefully there's no storm for playoffs. Because playoffs will start next week, and we will potentially be streaming Jolly Rogers versus TD Harmony.
Correct.
And you know,
that is going to be the stream game.
TD Harmony is still very favored, don't get me wrong. But this is a different Jolly Rogers than we've been seeing in the regular season.
Yeah, this is definitely a different team. You know, they're hitting their stride now. If you're TD Harmony, I would not sleep on this team. You know, this would still be considered an upset win here over OSG. So taking them lightly and now having to walk into a best of 5 against this team, kind of scary. And then the other match going across is going to be TD Chrono Break versus Contingent Esports Purple, which will be the second game here for round 2.
Yeah, and then the loser of that game will be playing OSG Tactical Freeze in lower bracket on the week following. So we will see OSG again. They will finally make it into best of 5s, but for them, they've got to win 2 best of 5s to get a crack at the grand finals.
Yes, that will be back against the wall.
No, they've got way more than that. Sorry, I was not scrolling over correctly. Sorry, they've got to win 3 best of 5s to win the grand final, or to get into the grand finals.
Yes, the way the bracket's set up, it is more of a gauntlet style setup from the old LCS style gauntlet to make it to Worlds, is how that lower bracket is established.
Yeah, so
it'll be a grind.
OSG, if they are going to make it to grand finals, I mean, that would be quite the glow up as well. They definitely showed some form of tricks here and doing well in game 2, aside from the last 10 minutes, you know. Trainer obviously popped off in game 1. I think they still have it in them, but they've got to have a lot of it in them because they've got quite a gauntlet of best of 5s ahead of them.
Well, you also get to see, you know, these matches play out here this next week, so you get some more scouting of how these teams are going to play, especially a best of 5. Any of these teams get pushed to best of 5. At that point, you're really stretching into your champion pools and your draft strategies. So it's a lot harder to hide versus a simple best of 3 that you see in the regular split.
Anyways, thank you all for joining us. Definitely join us next week to see Jolly Rogers again against the best team so far in Arbiter, TD Harmony. And we will see you for best of 5s from now on Mondays.
You know I don't play right. Just give me the word, you know I don't play right. Don't Don't give me this. I'm gonna get back when I feel like. You know I don't play right. I'll put up a good fight. Just give me the word. You know I don't play right. You know I don't play right. Don't give me this. I'm gonna get back when I feel like.